Chapter 3999. Baldwin wouldn't make such a low-level mistake, Su Yun said with a smile. Lin Gu frowned. Brother, do you think that guy will come after us? Of course. If he doesn't come after us, how am I going to deal with him? Su Yun said, if I didn't have 100% confidence that he would come after us, would I have left Columbus with him alive? This time, Lin Gu was confused, and so was Natasha. Didn't you say that your target was the list? Are you going to do it after you get the list? Natasha was the most surprised. If Su Yun had said that earlier, she might not have betrayed them. Now, it was too late for her to regret it. Su Yun smiled. If I wasn't sure that you would betray Baldwin and turn against their entire group, I wouldn't have said that in front of you. You planned this all along? Natasha was even more shocked after hearing that. It's not really a plan. It's just a plan, Su Yun said. It's just that the plan went relatively smoothly. Lin Gu was also confused. Brother, if you wanted to kill him, we had a better chance before we escaped. There wasn't such a big commotion before we escaped. Su Yun said, now that they have killed people, destroyed cars, and blown up boats, the entire Baldwin group will believe that Natasha betrayed them. If we had done it before, Baldwin would have died and Richie would have been crippled. Then, don't you think that a fickle woman like Natasha would have helped us escape? She would have definitely betrayed us the moment Baldwin died. Lin Gu was enlightened. Thinking about it carefully, that was indeed the case. Natasha was the one person they had to be wary of and couldn't trust. This is all part of your scheme, Natasha said, glaring. That's not accurate. To be precise, it should be a scheme. Su Yun smiled faintly and said, in our Huaxia, those that don't succeed are called schemes and machinations. Those that win aren't called schemes and machinations, they're called strategies and strategies. Natasha knew that the Huaxia people were very smart, and they had all kinds of stratagems, such as the 36 stratagems, the best stratagem to escape, and all kinds of stratagems. Now that she had seen them today, they really lived up to their reputation. Natasha couldn't even count how many stratagems Su Yun had used in this series of moves. Everything seemed to be the best stratagem to escape, but this stratagem included sowing dissension, creating a diversion, and sneaking around in the Chen Song stratagem. Anyway, for the first time, Natasha felt that her IQ couldn't keep up with Su Yun's plan. I know very well that you are a fickle person, a person who is used to betraying others, Su Yun said. So, I have to make you lose all reasons to betray me. Then congratulations, said Natasha. Bro, then how can you be sure that Baldwin will chase after us? Lin Gu asked. Su Yun smiled. Since ancient times, an army without surrendering has never had a chance of winning a battle. Su Yun, in this kind of situation where it's either you die or I live, do you think he will gamble on victory? Lin Gu nodded. That was true. If it were anyone else, they would have gone into battle personally. Most of the time, the victory of two armies depended on morale, and morale was something that could only be stimulated by the general. Then why do we have to kill him? Lin Gu asked again. Su Yun smiled but didn't say anything. If we don't kill him today, what do you think he will do? What can he do? Lin Gu couldn't understand. He can call everyone on the list and tell them that they are in danger. Su Yun. He will also cooperate with those B** stars to transfer their assets as quickly as possible, and then let them leave the country as soon as possible. Lin Gu was completely stunned. Why didn't he think of such an important thing? It must be like that. In this way, even if they took the list back, many of those B** stars would still be able to escape the country quickly. Which of those people didn't have fake passports? As long as the relevant authorities in the country didn't react in time and couldn't arrange for people to intercept those B** stars, they could easily fly out. Even if they just flew to Hong Kong and Macau, it would be enough to give Huaxia a headache. Therefore, the people on the list must not know what was happening now. They must not know that their names were leaked by Baldwin. Once this secret was leaked, it would be equivalent to wasting all their previous efforts. Bro, it seems that we really have to kill this guy. Lin Gu frowned and said, but we haven't seen him yet. What if he's a coward born in the year of the turtle and stays at home with his head tucked in? What should we do then? If that's really the case, I can only blame myself for being too arbitrary. If my judgment is wrong, I'm afraid I can only go back. Su Yun said helplessly, take the list and leave first. I'll go back and deal with what needs to be dealt with before I come back to you. Lin Gu shook his head. If we leave together. If we go back together. Always remember what's most important. Su Yun, being impulsive is not a sign of maturity. But I can't just watch you go back by yourself. Lin Gu said. Su Yun asked in return, why not? I'm not going to die. I'm going back to clean up. That still won't do. Lin Ji's answer was firm. It hasn't been a day or two since you've been by my side. You should have improved a little. You still need to improve. Su Yun smiled. This isn't the time to do things as you wish. Lin Gu frowned and didn't say anything. No matter what he should do, he couldn't leave Su Yun in danger alone. What if Su Yun didn't come back after he went back? How could he face others when he went back? How could he explain this? It would be better to let him die here. At this time, you can only follow my orders, Su Yun said. Lin Gu had originally planned to keep silent, but seeing how firm Su Yun was, he had no choice but to say, then you take the list and go back. I'll go back to Colombi to clean up the mess. I promise you that I can kill Baldwin. Is that okay? I'm talking about orders, Su Yun said. That's enough. You two don't need to argue, Natasha suddenly said. Baldwin is here. Su Yun and Lin Gu looked back at the same time. Sure enough, they saw a small and medium-sized speedboat appear in their field of vision. That's Baldwin's boat. It's much more powerful than mine, Natasha said. I've been worried that he would catch up. It seems that my worry was unnecessary. Mr. Su, you've been waiting for him to catch up. Lin Gu frowned and said, you know Baldwin's boat? Of course I know it. Natasha nodded. Even if it's Baldwin's boat, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's on it, Lin Gu said. Baldwin's boat has been dispatched. Does he have a reason not to come? Su Yun smiled. Natasha shook her head and said, there is no reason. He must be on his boat. I know Baldwin better than any of you. He will definitely come after us. He will never let his guard down against those who he wants to skin alive and drink their blood. You two may be the opponents he hates the most in his life. Thus, he must want to torture you the moment he catches you. He wants you to know the consequences of offending him. Su Yun said nothing else. He silently returned to his sniper position. It was time to end everything. Since you have a reason to kill him, I will fulfill your wish. Natasha stopped the boat. The distance between the two boats was getting closer. Su Yun held his sniper rifle and quietly aimed at Baldwin's boat. Finally, several figures appeared on the deck. Su Yun, who was among the crowd, quickly locked onto Baldwin's face. This was a source of evil. As long as this source of evil was put an end to, the American drug cartels would fall into civil strife and the U.S. empire would take advantage of the situation to strike back and begin their latest round of crackdown on drug trafficking. With the death of this person, not only would the criminals under his command be buried with him, but also those in Huaxia who used dishonorable means to illegally amass wealth and then used despicable means to transfer Huaxia's capital would also die with him. Su Yun took aim at Baldwin. The distance between the two boats was getting closer. As long as you can deal with him, I will speed up. Natasha quickly gestured to Su Yun and Lin Gu to keep quiet. By then, Su Yun had already taken aim. The movement of the boat due to the movement of the sea, the direction and speed of the sea breeze, all of those factors had to be taken into account. Su Yun was confident that he could hit his target within a distance of 200 meters. At present, the distance between the two boats was close to 200 meters. The enemy on the other side had already begun firing. A hail of bullets rained down. Natasha instantly panicked. She wanted to start the engine, but the shaking of the engine would surely affect Su Yun. Thus, Lin Gu held her down. What are you doing? I don't want to die here with you. If he doesn't open fire, we might be the ones to die. Natasha said angrily. When it is time to open fire, he will naturally open fire. Don't disturb him. Lin Gu shouted as well. At that moment, Su Yun had already excluded everything. His mind was blank and calm. He knew what the shot he fired meant. Then he can hit the boat. Just now, he hit the boat and it exploded. Isn't it very accurate? Natasha was unable to understand. The explosion of the boat cannot guarantee that Baldwin will die from the explosion. At this moment, we need to kill him. Completely. Lin Gu said seriously. At that moment, Su Yun pulled the trigger. Bang! Baldwin's head exploded in Su Yun's optical scope. Let's go. Su Yun gave the order after firing the shot. Natasha did not hesitate to start the boat and escape. Lin Gu returned to the heavy machine gun position and emptied all the bullets in one go. Chapter 4000. The moment Chuanshan's private jet landed at the Qingdao airport, everyone who had been waiting outside breathed a sigh of relief. Because they were carrying too much weight and too much gold, the fuel consumption was too high. The fuel tank had already sounded an alarm long before they landed. Natasha wanted to throw away the gold on the way, but Su Yun insisted that they would arrive safely. However, it was too thrilling for them to arrive safely this time. The moment the jet left the U.S. airspace, it meant that they had to return to Huaxia before they could land. There were no supply points along the way, and the U.S. could interfere with all the supply points along the way. They might not be able to take off again. After all, there was so much gold on the plane. Although the United States of America was a country that reacted quickly to all kinds of information, by the time they reacted, everything was already over. Su Yun had called Zhuo Meiyan before they boarded the plane to quickly transfer all of Sky Entertainment Group's bank accounts back to China and cancel them. With such a huge account, it was impossible for the U.S. empire to not pay attention to the withdrawal and cancellation of billions of yuan. They would definitely investigate the account. After a complicated investigation and strict investigation, they realized the problem and trouble. However, at this time, Su Yun's jet had already left the U.S. airspace, and the U.S. could no longer intercept them. Of course, the U.S. wouldn't give up on intercepting Su Yun's flight. However, Chuanshan's aircraft was indeed not ordinary. His aircraft had been modified in a rather impressive manner. It was actually a large-scale modification in the form of a stealth fighter. The belly of the private jet was painted sky blue to blend in with the sky. The jet was also equipped with a signal jammer and an advanced detection system. These advanced equipment could absorb radar waves and reflect waves. In addition, the jet's engine used a wedge-shaped nozzle like a fighter jet. The outer shell and casing used a honeycomb structure, which greatly reduced the noise. Once they had completely left the U.S. airspace, the U.S. military base in Hawaii wouldn't be able to track them down, and there would be no way to intercept or attack them. Although there were many ways to detect a stealth jet, such as using advanced meter-wave radar and advanced tactics to shoot it down, etc. However, this aircraft was not an ordinary stealth aircraft. The aircraft was equipped with advanced plasma stealth technology. The plasma stealth technology was to place some plasma generators in certain parts of the aircraft. During the flight, the plasma stream would be released and the aircraft would be shielded from radar. It made use of electromagnetic characteristics to either weaken or reflect the transmitted signal. Even if the signal was received, the radar would only get the virtual position of the aircraft instead of the actual position, which would cause interference and greatly improve the survivability of the aircraft. In this way, it had the super advantages of a wide bandwidth of absorption frequency, high absorption rate, and good stealth effect. These advanced technologies were originally used for military purposes. He really didn't know how Chuanshan got his hands on them. However, there was one thing that Su Yun was sure of. This guy would never spend money to do it. If he did, the price would be too high. He must have obtained this equipment through some means of power and money. In short, it was because of the advanced equipment on the plane that Su Yunfei dared to fly boldly. Otherwise, Su Yunfei would not have dared to fly directly back to China. He would have definitely made some changes and carried out some transfers. Otherwise, the plane would have been shot down in mid-air. In short, after Su Yun and the others took off, Zhuo Meiyan and Ruan Qingxuang's hearts could not calm down. After the plane landed safely, they finally heaved a sigh of relief. Of course, Chen Wei was also waiting at the airport. Chen Wei had received a command from his superiors to cooperate fully with Su Yun and the others. The family heirloom incident had shocked the entire Hua Xia. The higher-ups were very angry about the use of corruption or illegal means to shamelessly amass wealth and then transfer the wealth out of the country through improper means. Therefore, the country had set up a special task force to investigate the family heirloom incident. However, Chuan Shan was dead, which was quite unfavorable for the investigation. Now, all the hope was placed on Su Yun. When Su Yun recovered so much stolen money, the country was already very shocked. Now that he had brought back so much gold, Chen Wei could not close his mouth. Qin Waner was also temporarily transferred out of Shenzhen and became one of the main team members in charge of the case. She was more familiar with Su Yun, so all the handover of Su Yun's side naturally fell on her. The moment Su Yun and Lin Ge got off the plane with Natasha, Qin Waner's face relaxed a lot. All the gold was also transported away by the people arranged by Chen Wei. You two are very good. Not only did you solve the problem, but you also recovered the stolen money and brought back the gold. You also brought back such a beautiful woman. Fangya smiled at Lin Ge and said, "Tell me, did you bring her back or did Brother Yun bring her back?" "I don't have that ability." Lin Ge did not hesitate to pour dirty water on Su Yun. "Of course Brother Yun is more charming." "Not bad, Su Yun," Zhuo Meiyan snorted. Zhuo Meiyan snorted, "You're really working and flirting with girls at the same time. I was wondering why you liked doing these things that you could have rejected." "You liked doing these tasks that you could have rejected. So it's because there are benefits." Su Yun smiled bitterly. "Yes, there are indeed benefits. Let me introduce you, Natasha." "Hello." Everyone greeted her. Natasha nodded. She had met them one by one. If it wasn't for her, we might not have been able to come back so smoothly. Su Yun, of course, if we really died in Colombia this time, it would be because of her. So, should we thank her, or should we? Bai Xiaoya asked. Of course we should thank her, Ruan Qingxuang continued. Since she came back safely, everything is fine. Yes, I think so too, Bai Xiaoya said. Then let's welcome our new friends back. Let's go back to the hotel. I've already arranged everything. Although Qin Wan had a lot of questions to ask Su Yun, it was indeed a bad time to talk about work. Chen Wei patted her shoulder, indicating that she did not need to rush. Things would be much easier now that they were back safely. Director Chen Wan Su Yun could tell what they were thinking. I'll report to you when we eat. We really made a profit this time. I'll bring you great news. Let's not talk about work first. Let's welcome you back. Chen Wei laughed. Qin Wan did not say anything. She just nodded vigorously. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go, Bai Xiaoya said. Don't rush. There's still one more guest, Zhuo Meiyan reminded them. Because of Su Yun and Lin Ji's arrival, everyone's attention was on them. Also, they brought back beautiful women and gold, which would definitely divert everyone's attention. Once their attention was diverted, they would forget some things. Yes, Yu Marin's flight will arrive in a few minutes. Ruan Qingxuang suddenly realized. Why is she here? Su Yun was stunned. Is there a mission? When we heard that you and Lin Ge were coming back today, we were all worried about your health outside. We wondered if you were injured, so this matter. Zhuo Meiyan shrugged her shoulders. This was arranged by your family's chief, not us. Su Yun did not know whether to laugh or cry. Yu Meiren is here to resuscitate me? You're right. Everyone nodded. Su Yun's health was really worrying. But she won't be able to come in. She'll follow the passengers to the exit. We won't be able to wait for her in the airport. Su Yun, let's go and pick her up. Then we'll go back to Sky Entertainment Hotel and have a celebratory drink. Everyone cheered and followed behind Su Yun. Chapter 4001. When the rest of the team arrived at the exit, Yu Meiren was looking around anxiously. They had agreed that someone would pick her up as soon as she got off the plane and take her to see Su Yun immediately. Everyone was worried about Su Yun's safety on this trip to the United States. She had been waiting at the exit for 2 minutes, but there was still no one to pick her up. How could she not panic? Yu Meiren was worried that Su Yun was in trouble, so they forgot about taking her to see Su Yun. Just as Yu Meiren took out her phone in a panic and was about to contact Ruan Qingshuang, the team finally appeared in front of her. In the middle of the team was Su Yun. Seeing that Su Yun was unscathed, Yu Meiren ignored the gazes of everyone present and ran directly to Su Yun. She hugged Su Yun and felt the warmth of Su Yun's body. She was finally relieved. "I made you come here for nothing," Su Yun laughed. "The United States is full of weaklings. It won't be easy for them to deal with me. It's good that you're fine. Beauty, you didn't care if she made a wasted trip. She was willing to make 100 wasted trips for this kind of thing. She was willing and definitely wouldn't have any complaints. Alright, let's not be sentimental at the airport. There are so many people watching." Zhua Meiyan smiled and said, "We're all people of status. Let's go back quickly." Bai Xiaoya nodded and said, "The car is ready. I'll call little Dong Bei now and ask him to prepare the ingredients. He said that he'll use the freshest ingredients to prepare a banquet for my brother. If we go back late, I'm afraid the ingredients won't be fresh anymore." Alright, let's hurry up. Everyone took the car back to Sky Entertainment Hotel. Today's meal was very relaxing for everyone. The safety of Su Yun and Lin Gu was what everyone wanted to see the most, but now that they saw it, it was enough. Although the country's rules could only restrict Chen Wei and Qin Wan everyone wanted to be thrifty. Therefore, this meal was not extravagant. However, little Dong Bei cooked it himself, and all the ingredients were fresh. Therefore, although it wasn't extravagant, the taste was still very good. The dishes could be eaten simply, but the wine couldn't be eaten casually. In order to celebrate Su Yun's great achievement, Zhua Meiyan took out 2 jars of Confucius family's wine that Zhang Taisui had collected back then, sealed with wax, to celebrate. When the old man sealed these 2 jars of wine, the wine wasn't like the wine of today. They weren't even on the same level. Back then, when someone took out the Dan family's sorghum wine that they had collected for several decades to trade for it, Zhang Taisui flatly refused. Then, when someone offered a jar to trade for this half a caddy, Zhang Taisui still refused without hesitation. One had to know that a jug weighed 5 caddies. 5 caddies for half a caddy, yet Zhang Taisui refused without hesitation. From this point, it could be seen how precious these 2 jars of wine were to Zhang Taisui. Of course, Zhang Taisui didn't only have these 2 jars of wine. This was once the mellow and rich Confucius family wine. Zhang Taisui had 6 jars. 2 of them were shared with Su Yun's father, Su Chen, and 1 was shared with his sworn brothers. Why was it that when the 8 of them drank together, Zhang Taisui was only willing to take out 1 jar of wine? How could 5 caddies be shared? The reason was that even if he took out 10 jars of wine, it wouldn't be enough for them to drink. Therefore, he simply took out 1 jar of wine for everyone to taste. After all, other than himself who liked to drink, Lu Xuanji and Jin Guai were also people who couldn't lack wine every day. If there was someone who didn't have a great desire for wine, it would be Wang Yi and Lu Xianyu, who were in the army, as well as the old-fashioned Gu Magpie and the ice beauty Su Yueling. However, although those people didn't have any desire for wine, they could still drink some. And Zhang Taisui was most worried about Xian Yuanji. The name, Wine Sword Immortal, wasn't for nothing. This was a person who drank wine every meal. If he didn't have wine for a meal, he would feel itchy all over. Therefore, Zhang Taisui didn't dare to take more. Just this kind of good wine, Xian Yuanji could drink 8 or 10 jars by himself. Therefore, Zhang Taisui kept 3 jars. This was what Zhang Taisui planned to keep for Su Chen to drink alone. He felt that this wine wouldn't be wasted if only Su Chen drank it. As for why there were only 2 jars left, it was because Zhang Taisui couldn't bring Su Yun to the Dragon Brigade empty-handed. Although Wang Yi was his sworn brother and didn't need to be polite, there was still Wan Guangxiao. That jar of wine was brought by Zhang Taisui to Wan Guangxiao. He wasn't a talkative person, but he wanted to let Wan Guangxiao know his thoughts. He wanted Wan Guangxiao to strictly manage Su Yun and mold Su Yun into a talent. After all, Su Yun was a talent that could be molded. After all, Su Yun was Su Chen's son. Back then, Zhang Taisui could only be at ease when he placed Su Yun beside Wan Guangxiao. Only then could he live up to Su Chen's request to him. The talkative Zhang Taisui directly placed the jar of wine in front of Wan Guangxiao. Wan Guangxiao didn't hesitate either. He opened it at the table where Zhang Taisui, and Wang Yi were at, and the three of them drank together. Back then, Wan Guangxiao said, "You brought me a talent that is hard to come by in 1,000 years, and I don't know how to repay you. You even gave me this wine that is hard to come by in 1,000 years. You really want me to owe you a favor for the rest of my life." With Wan Guangxiao's words, Zhang Taisui was relieved to leave Su Yun in the Dragon Brigade and hand him over to Wang Yi. In the end, because of Su Chen's accident, Zhang Taisui directly sealed the 2 jars of wine underground. Before Zhang Taisui died, he gave a bunch of instructions, and one of them was about the burial location of the 2 jars of wine. After Zhang Taisui's death, Zhuo Meiyan was too busy dealing with the mess around her and didn't have time to care about the wine. A while ago, when Su Yun went to the United States, she suddenly remembered. Then, she arranged for Zhuo Yeming to dig it up and prepare to celebrate Su Yun's return. Su Yun didn't let her down. He really won such a beautiful battle. As soon as the wine entered their mouths, everyone was amazed. "Chief Chen, while everyone's mind is still clear, I'll report to you first." Su Yun pointed at Natasha and said to Chen Wei, "Especially why I brought this foreign beauty back. I have to explain clearly first. Otherwise, I won't be able to go home later." Chen Wei smiled. He knew that the person Su Yun brought back was useful. "Okay, go ahead. I'm listening." "Pigeon, take out the name list," Su Yun said. Lin Gu took out the name list and handed it to Su Yun. Natasha was shocked. "You really guarded against me until the last moment." "Isn't that so? If I didn't guard against you until the last moment, I wouldn't have felt confident. Su Yun, now that you followed us here, you can be seen on all the surveillance cameras along the way. Also, so many of us have identified you. Even if you want to betray us, you can't leave the country. In Huaxia, if I want to catch you, you definitely can't escape. You don't have the capital to betray us. You win." Natasha raised her head and drank the wine in one gulp. She didn't plan to drink just now, but Su Yun made her so angry that she couldn't help it. But after drinking this glass of wine, Natasha was dumbfounded. This wine was actually more fragrant than the best brandy she had ever drunk. It was simply amazing how this wine was brewed. This is the name list of all the people who have transferred illegal capital overseas. Su Yun handed the name list to Chen Wei. "Natasha can cooperate with you. She's the right-hand woman of the person in charge of overseas money laundering, Baldwin. I reckon that everyone on this list knows her. Through her, you can talk to them and get the evidence. It'll be much easier to deal with this matter." Chen Wei was really impressed. He gave Su Yun a thumbs up. "In short, first confirm the people on the list, then seal off all the exits of the airport. Tell all the staff to be on high alert and prevent any of them from escaping," Su Yun said. "This matter needs to be done immediately." Chen Wei stood up. "If Baldwin from overseas notifies them, Baldwin is already dead." Su Yun smiled. "None of those people can contact Baldwin now, and Natasha will be the person they trust the most. There's no one else." Chen Wei was shocked, but also relieved. "Director Chen, don't worry and drink today." Su Yun smiled. "It won't be too late to arrange this matter tomorrow. Those people are at most shocked by Chuanshan's death and don't realize that the outside world has been raided." Chapter 4002. Can you not talk about work? "It's not working hours now," Zhuo Meiyan said. Zhua Meiyan said, "One has been holding it in for the sake of our feelings. Chief Chen, don't ruin the atmosphere." Chen Wei smiled awkwardly. "I'm not spoiling the mood. He took the initiative to talk to me. Punish him." "I'm willing to be punished. How about 3 glasses of wine?" Su Yun raised his glass. "How is this a punishment? This is a reward." Bai Xiaoye would not let Su Yun off so easily. "Brother, don't play tricks." Everyone burst into laughter. There was nothing important to talk about now. Su Yun had handled the whole thing perfectly. He even left them a list of the most convenient people and the most important people for follow-up work. The whole case was almost completely without any technical difficulties. Everything was done according to Su Yun's arrangements and the foundation that had been laid down. Laughter and laughter could be heard at the table. Everyone was talking to their heart's content. While they were having fun, Zhuo Langyue, who was thousands of miles away, was sitting on a sofa with a frosty expression. In an old castle in England, Zhuo Langyue received the news that made her excited, shocked and frightened, but at this moment, she was calmer than at any other moment. This castle in the valley of the London River in England was very quiet. The whole castle was surrounded by a small lake. The surrounding water was beautiful and elegant. According to legend, no one knew when this castle was built. In the 13th century, this was a royal villa in England. Everyone in the world knew that the English aristocrats were the best at showing off. Moreover, they were the kind of people that ordinary people couldn't do. Let's take the English pronunciation for example. The Chinese people felt that the London accent was very pretentious. These people didn't have much knowledge. At least, they hadn't seen the English aristocrats. There was another accent in English called the pure English royal accent. Therefore, the English nobles loved to show off and were the best at it. Even their accent was pretentious. In that society where the nobles were addicted to showing off, the English royal family had a custom. The new king of each generation would give this castle to his queen. It could also be said that this castle was a royal fortress. Perhaps it was because too many queens had lived here, so everything in this castle had a strong feminine aura. Later on, for some unknown reason, this ancient castle became a private castle again. And now, this castle was a birthday present from the 5 war gods to Zhuo Langyue on her birthday. Today, Zhuo Langyue heard this shocking news in her favorite castle. Something happened on Marty Franz Island. This news was like a bombshell. Marty Franz Island was where the prison for serious criminals was located. On the surface, this island looked no different from a normal island, but in fact, there was a mystery behind it. There were 5 levels of prison below the island. Every layer of prisoners was more ferocious than the one before. What did it mean that something had happened to Marty Francis? It was simply unimaginable. The news was brought by Ling Feng. Over so many years, Zhuo Langyue had always asked Lightning Ling Feng to find the location of Marty Fran Island. Half a year ago, Ling Feng finally confirmed the specific location of Marty Fran Island. This large man-made island, which had no foundation, and would disappear with the rise and fall of the sea level, was finally discovered by Ling Feng. After discovering this island, Ling Feng didn't dare to relax at all. Zhuo Langyue also didn't return to Huaxia for half a year and focused all her energy on Marty Franz Island. The 5 war gods were all summoned by the Empress and put all their attention on Marty Franz Island. They took turns to monitor Marty Franz Island, looking for the pattern of its drifting position and the pattern of its surfacing. All of this was a long process. Zhuo Langyue had always emphasized that they shouldn't act rashly. Before she had absolute confidence, she didn't want anyone to disrupt her plan. She wanted to plan a perfect rescue operation to rescue Su Chan from this damned Marty Franz Island. She would make anyone who wanted to stop her pay a heavy price. Lightning Ling Feng, Thunder O Nan, Hurricane Kong Shan, Blazing Sun, and Roaring Waves Dong Hai were all on standby. As long as Zhuo Langyue gave the order, they were willing to risk their lives. However, when Zhuo Langyue was preparing to plan a perfect rescue operation, she received such a piece of news. Something happened on Marty Franz Island. Ling Feng's face was full of vicissitudes. Although he was still in the prime of his life, He was much more haggard after half a year of living in the open. Nan and Kong Shan were no different from him. They were both physically and mentally exhausted. It wasn't easy for them to come back this time. They encountered a once-in-a-century storm and even their boat capsized. Zhao Yang and Dong Hai's situation was slightly better, but they still weren't 100% in combat condition. Empress, we absolutely can't act rashly at this time. Nan said indifferently, if we appear rashly at this time, we may only bring more trouble. I believe the Empress has her own arrangements. Kong Shan glanced at Nan and motioned him not to speak carelessly. After all, the matter on Marty Franz Island involved Su Chen. Zhua Langyue didn't want anyone to make any decisions on her behalf. She wouldn't even listen to anyone's opinions. For so many years, Zhua Langyue had always been like this when it came to matters involving Su Chen. Kong Shan didn't want Nan to infuriate the Empress just because of a suggestion. At this time, Ling Feng and the others were already prepared for the Empress's fury. However, unexpectedly, Zhua Langyue wasn't angered by Nan's words at all. She was very calm. Really, really calm. For so many years, the 5 war gods hadn't seen such a calm Empress. This made them somewhat surprised, but behind this surprise, there was also a deep worry. A person's abnormality could be expressed through many things. The most common form was the current situation. It was completely different from what they usually did, as if they were a completely different person. This kind of abnormality was the most worrisome. Zhua Langyue was in such a situation now. She had completely changed into a different person. On the contrary, they were somewhat looking forward to seeing the Empress fly into a rage. It wasn't a secret that Zhua Langyue had a bad temper. Ever since Su Chen's accident, Zhua Langyue's temper had become even more irritable. Even when facing the 5 war gods, Zhua Langyue would never restrain her temper. Once she restrained her temper, she wouldn't be herself anymore. Empress, even though this is an unexpected incident, perhaps things aren't as serious as we think. Dong Hai said, I believe there will be a turn for the better. How about this? I will set off immediately and monitor the unrest on Marty Franz Island. If there are any changes, I will inform you immediately. Zhua Langyue still didn't say anything. If she didn't say anything, Dong Hai wouldn't act on his own accord. As one of the 5 war gods, Ling Feng felt that this was indeed a feasible method and hoped that the Empress would agree. However, Zhua Langyue still didn't say anything. Nan couldn't help but speak up again. I think Dong Hai's suggestion is very good. He is the most familiar with the ocean among us. Let him monitor the situation and report to us immediately if there are any changes. Empress, that's Marty Franz Island after all. The riot will be large-scale and long-lasting. It's definitely not something that can be resolved in 3 to 5 hours like in an ordinary prison. We still have time. All right, stop disturbing the Empress's decision. This time, it was Ling Feng who spoke. Nan wasn't someone who was easily convinced. Among the 5 war gods, other than Ling Feng, he wasn't convinced by anyone else. Therefore, when Kong Shan said that to him just now, he didn't care at all and simply didn't take it seriously. Now that Ling Feng had spoken, Nan didn't speak anymore and obediently shut his mouth. Yes, you are right. Marty Franz Island isn't an ordinary prison. If there is a riot, it definitely won't be resolved in 3 to 5 hours like in an ordinary prison. However, the riot in Marty Franz Island isn't as easy to control and resolve as in an ordinary prison. Zhua Langyue finally opened her mouth. However, before she could finish her sentence, she fell silent again. Chapter 4003. After a moment of silence, Zhua Langyue slowly said, I want to gather all the fighting forces that can be gathered. Empress, are we really going to fall out with the Marty Franz Island prison? Ling Feng cautiously said, if we fall out with the Marty Franz Island prison, there will be no turning back. I have never thought of turning back since the beginning. Zhua Langyue faintly said, even if there is no riot on Marty Franz Island, won't we fall out with the Marty Franz Island prison if we want to save people? Ling Feng was startled and speechless. Although he understood all this in his heart, once they fell out with the Mardi Franz Island prison, it meant that they would be wanted forever. Once they were caught, they would inevitably be locked up in the deep-sea prison under Mardi Franz Island. Under such circumstances, how many people dared to take the risk? In the entire underground world, only a handful of people dared to come forward because of this matter. This was because after Su Chen was locked up in the Mardi Franz Island prison, there was a saying that no one could beat the Mardi Franz Island prison. Even the legendary man at the peak of perfection couldn't escape from the detention of the Mardi Franz Island prison. And everyone knew that Su Chen would never come out of this prison. Because this was a fact, no one dared to have any improper thoughts about Mardi Franz Island. Moreover, this prison was an island that floated in the ocean, sometimes not. Even if the Empress said that she had found the whereabouts of Mardi Franz Island, not many people would believe her. Most of them would think that she was talking nonsense. Everyone knew how crazy Zhuolangyue's love for Su Chen was. "If you don't say it, I will." Onan saw that Ling Feng was stammering and didn't know how to start. "Empress, how many people in the underground world dare to provoke the Mardi Franz Island prison? Then force them to do it," Zhuolangyue said. Ling Feng shook his head. "We can't force them to do this kind of thing. If we want to succeed, we need people who can be trusted 100%. And those who can't be trusted, even if they follow us to Mardi Franz Island, will only do things that will disrupt our plan and betray us." Zhuolangyue was stunned. Yes, she had never considered whether there would be people in the underground world who would dare to betray her. Perhaps no one would dare to betray her in other matters, but not in this matter. Because those people would definitely think that if Zhuolangyue and the 5 gods of war were all taken into custody by Mardi Franz Island, who would punish them for their betrayal? The answer was obviously no. Therefore, the majority of people would choose to betray them at the last minute. Mardi Franz Island was a terrible place, and no one was willing to risk being locked up for a lifetime. Being locked up for a lifetime in Mardi Franz Island's prison might be more terrifying than death. Ling Feng is right. If a group of people suddenly betrayed us at the last moment, I'm afraid our situation would be even worse. Then tell me what to do. Zhuolangyue was a bit angry. This way won't work, that way won't work either. Give me a plan so that I can know what I should do and how I should deal with it. The 5 of them lowered their heads in silence. Just now, they had indeed spoken a little too much, but these words had to be said. "Empress, I think it's necessary to inform Su Chen about this matter." Kong Shan tried to divert Zhuolangyue's attention so that she wouldn't be so angry. Zhuolangyue frowned and looked at Kong Shan. "If Su Chen knows that I brought his son to Mardi Franz Island's prison to save him, how will he react? Who can guarantee that he won't be angry? That's his only son with the woman he loves the most in this world, Yun Luyen." Kong Shan realized that not only did he not divert his anger, but he also intensified it. Yun Luyen is already dead, and Su Yun is their only child. He's also the only one Yun Luyen left for him. Zhuolangyue continued, "If you let me bring the son he cares about the most in this world to a dangerous place like Mardi Franz Island's prison, how do you think he'll react?" Kong Shan lowered his head in silence. Ling Feng wanted to help him out, but he didn't know what to say. In this lifetime, Su Chen will only entrust the most important thing to Zhang Jianji to protect and take care of. Zhuolangyue glared at him and said, "Back then, he didn't even entrust Yun Luyen to Zhang Jianji. He entrusted Su Yun to Zhang Jianji, which means that Su Yun is the most precious person in his life. He's even more precious than Yun Luyen, whom he loves to death. How can he accept that you let me bring such a precious person to do such a dangerous thing?" Zhuolangyue's anger started to subside as she finished speaking. Zhuolangyue originally didn't like Su Chen and Yun Luyen's son, but she loved Su Chen too much. As long as it was Su Chen's most precious thing, it was also her most precious thing. Yun Luyen had passed away many years ago, so she didn't need to care about the past anymore. Since Su Yun was Su Chen's only precious thing, she had to take care of Su Yun like a precious child like Bai Xiaoye. But he's a descendant of the Su family after all. Even though this might anger the Empress, Dong Hai still said it. Zhaoyang quickly glared at Dong Hai, but words that had been spoken were like water that couldn't be taken back. "Good, What a descendant of the Su family. Surprisingly, the Empress didn't get angry. Instead, she clapped her hands in appreciation and said, "Very good, you're absolutely right. He's a descendant of the Su family, a descendant of both Su Chen and a woman from the Yun family." Dong Hai suddenly realized that the Empress wasn't praising him. But Zhualangyue changed the topic. What does this mean? Does he have to do such a dangerous thing just because he's a descendant of the Su family? Shouldn't Bai Xiaoye come with us? Isn't she a descendant of the Su family? She's also a descendant of the Su family. She's the daughter of Su Chan and me. Isn't Su Chen and my daughter a descendant of the Su family? Empress, that's not what I meant. Dong Hai instantly panicked and didn't know how to explain himself. That's definitely not what he meant. Ling Feng quickly pacified Zhualangyue. What Dong Hai meant was that as a son, it's necessary for him to know about this matter. After all, that's his father. A daughter doesn't need to know. Zhualangyue glared at him. Ling Feng quickly shook his head. Of course. Su Chen is their father, and they have the right to know. Now, Xiaoye has been following Su Yun. What Dong Hai meant was that as long as we inform Su Yun, Xiaoye will naturally know everything. Zhualangyue's face was gloomy, and her anger didn't diminish. If I were Su Chen, I would have no regrets even if I were to die. Zhualangyue continued, but it's absolutely unacceptable to involve a pair of children in danger because of one's own affairs. Empress, perhaps my words aren't accurate, but I still feel that I should say it at this time. Onan continued, whether it's Xiaoye or Su Yun, they're no longer children. They've already grown up. Zhualangyue remained silent. No matter when, in her eyes, Bai Xiaoye was still a child. Since they've already grown up, they should have the right to know and the right to choose. Onan continued, we have no reason not to tell them about this matter. This isn't a small matter, it's a very serious matter. Of course I know that this is a very serious matter. Zhualangyue said expressionlessly, it's because it's serious that I have to be responsible for their safety. Kongshan spoke again, but Empress, there aren't many people that we can use now, and there are even fewer people who are willing to risk their lives for Su Chen. He's Su Chen's son, and you've seen his growth over the years. If he steps forward, there'll be a very powerful team behind him. Ling Feng added, we really need a powerful team, otherwise, it'll be impossible to achieve anything in Marty Franz Island's prison for serious criminals. Chapter 4004. Zhualangyue knew all of this. She was very clear about what these guys were saying, but she couldn't make such a decision. This decision was really too difficult for her. Or rather, Zhualangyue didn't have a reason to do so. The power behind Su Yun might not be comparable to the power of the 5 war gods individually, but when added together, it was an extremely terrifying team. Zhualangyue admitted this point. Although Zhualangyue was the empress, she didn't have any contact with the underground world after Su Chen's accident. She only offended the people of the underground world and didn't try to rope them in. She was such a person. Those who were willing to trust her were willing to do things for her. For example, the 5 war gods were willing to bow their heads to her. However, those who were unwilling to do things for her hated the way she handled things. Therefore, Ling Feng and the others could only use people they absolutely trusted. Otherwise, they would face the possibility of those bastards betraying them at the last minute. Zhualangyue thought for a long time, but she still only had the 5 of them. Even if countless teams would step forward bravely when she gave the order, there wasn't a single one that Zhualangyue trusted 100%. Apart from the 5 war gods, there was no one else she could completely trust. This made Zhualangyue's mood fall to the bottom. Although she believed in the strength of the 5 war gods and believed that the prison wouldn't let them go so easily, they really didn't have the confidence to win. Even if she was the empress who stood above everyone. Your Majesty, if we don't have enough people to support and help us, it may not be difficult for the few of us to fight our way in and out of the prison on Marty Fran Island, but the possibility of rescuing Su Chen from the prison on the 5th floor of the island is really slim. Ling Feng rarely said such words, so his words carried weight in Zhualengyue's heart. At this time, Zhaoyang finally mustered up the courage to speak. Empress, I think Ling Feng's words are too one-sided. If we look at this problem from a purely objective point of view, we have no hope of winning at all. Zhualengyue frowned again. Although these words were a bit harsh, it was an objective fact. Marty, we don't know how many people are locked up on Franz Island, but there are at least 100 of them that we can name, Onan said. This is indeed quite a headache. That's right. It's not just a headache. Kongshan smiled slightly. Marty, there are 5 floors in the Franz Island prison for serious criminals. Those who are qualified to be locked in there are all supermasters and above. Zhao Yang also sighed. With our strength, we naturally wouldn't care about super experts. However, the people locked up on the 2nd floor are all Grandmaster Realm experts. We have to be careful when dealing with them. On the 3rd floor, those top experts of the Grandmaster Realm, and even those who have already broken through to the Profound World Realm, will definitely embarrass us. Dong Hai also rubbed his temples. That's right, Empress. Even if we're able to pass through the 3rd floor, the people locked up in the 4th floor are all people with strength above the Earth Profound Realm. These people aren't that easy to deal with. Ling Feng said helplessly. How could Zhualengyue not know this truth? Although she didn't care about the people on the first 4 floors, even if they managed to rush to the 4th floor, the 5 war gods would definitely be exhausted. They didn't know whether there was anyone else on the 5th floor besides Su Chen. Even if there wasn't anyone else, the possibility of them returning was extremely small. In this prison that was rioting, there was absolutely no one who could make them take a step forward easily. Whether it was the guards of the prison or the people locked up in the prison, no one could make them take a step forward easily. Zhualengyue slowly realized that if they wanted to successfully rush in and escape unscathed, they would need experts. At the very least, they needed experts with strength above that of super experts. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to successfully rescue those people. Zhualengyue didn't have anyone she could trust, but Su Yun had many trustworthy people around him. In this regard, Zhualengyue couldn't be compared with Su Yun. As long as Su Yun joined the battle, he would be able to gather the helpers they needed, enough helpers. With the help of these people, they would have a 50-50 chance of success. Without the help of Su Yun and his people, they wouldn't even have a 30/70th chance of success, let alone 50/50ths. Now, the situation was that serious. Zhualengyue was now faced with a choice. The choice was whether to inform Su Yun or not. Everyone had their own selfish motives, and Zhualengyue was no exception. Once Su Yun knew about this matter, Bai Xiaoye would have no choice but to be involved. Compared to Su Yun, Zhualengyue really didn't want Bai Xiaoye to be involved in this matter at all. Because all of this was too dangerous for Bai Xiaoye. This matter was very dangerous for anyone who was only in the Grandmaster realm. Zhualengyue could let others take the risk, but she absolutely didn't want Bai Xiaoye to take the risk. Because in this matter, the others would certainly obey the orders and arrangements, but Bai Xiaoye was definitely an unstable factor. The strength of the people Su Yun brought was naturally uneven, but as long as they strictly obeyed the orders, the super experts would only stay on the 1st floor, while the 4th level Grandmaster Realm experts would stay on the 2nd floor. The high-level Grandmaster Realm experts would enter the 3rd floor. Only those who had broken through to the Profound World Realm could go to the 4th floor and even the 5th floor. Only by following the orders could they ensure their safety as much as possible. With Bai Xiaoye's strength, she could only go to the 2nd floor at most. If they really brought her along, would she really stop at the 2nd floor? The answer was obviously no. Bai Xiaoye wasn't the kind of girl who would obediently follow orders. As a mother, Zhualengyue naturally understood her daughter. Once Bai Xiaoye joined this operation, she would definitely follow them all the way. It was absolutely impossible for her to stop at the 2nd floor. Thinking of this, Zhualengyue's heart was in a dilemma. She really couldn't make a choice. How could she make Bai Xiaoye give up on this operation? Or rather, how could she make Bai Xiaoye obediently follow the orders? Zhualengyue had no idea at all. Zhualengyue thought that there was a good way. As long as Su Yun cooperated with her and hid it from Bai Xiaoye, Bai Xiaoye would definitely know nothing about this matter from the beginning. However, Zhuo Lengyue understood a very simple principle. Paper couldn't wrap fire. Everything would be revealed one day. She had already deceived her daughter once, and this time, her daughter would almost never forgive her. If Zhuo Lengyue chose to deceive her regarding her father's matter this time, with Bai Xiaoye's character, she would probably never forgive her for the rest of her life. Zhuo Lengyue was in a dilemma. She really couldn't think of a good way to solve this problem. Who can help me persuade Xiaoye to not participate in this operation? Zhuo Lengyue suddenly threw out such a question. The 5 war gods were all stunned. They absolutely didn't have any confidence in this matter. Because they all knew what kind of child Bai Xiaoye was. No one had a way to solve this problem. However, if they didn't try, Zhuo Lengyue might not be able to make a decision. If they couldn't make a decision and didn't inform Su Yun, they wouldn't be able to find enough manpower to help them. This was a chain of events that couldn't be omitted. Therefore, the 5 war gods had to agree to Zhuo Lengyue's request if necessary. Your Majesty, I think Ling Feng is the most suitable person to do this. Onan smiled and said, Xiaoye has never listened to me since she was young. Everyone knows this, but she listens to Ling Feng the most. I believe that Ling Feng is the most suitable person to do this. I think so too. Kong Shan nodded. Xiaoye indeed listens to Ling Feng the most. Zhao Yong agreed with both hands. Moreover, this time, not only do we have to persuade Xiaoye not to participate, but we also have to inform Su Yun. This kind of thing will make them feel that Ling Feng is more important. That's right. Let Ling Feng do it. Dong Hai nodded. Zhuo Lengyue's gaze fell on Ling Feng. Ling Feng was speechless. You're forcing me to Liangshan. Chapter 4005. Ling Feng couldn't refuse the Empress's order. Even though he was unwilling, he still showed up at the Qingdao airport. At this moment, Su Yun had already gone to Yanjing with Chen Wei and Qin Wan. This time, Su Yun had a lot of things to report. He had to report everything that happened after the family heirloom incident, as well as the name list that Baldwin from the United States, who was helping Hua Xia's parasites launder money. Every single one of them had to be reported, and the target had to be identified through the witness, Natasha. The people involved in this incident were really all-encompassing. There were sanctimonious high-ranking officials, pretentious rich businessmen, and all kinds of people. These fellows, who usually disguise themselves as humans, did despicable things behind their backs. With the name list in Su Yun's hands, everything was easy to investigate. Other than the people from the Public Security Department, those who were working for the country but doing things that harmed the country's interests were also targeted by the local procuratorate and other relevant departments. A comprehensive investigation was launched, and once the evidence was conclusive, the net was immediately prepared to be closed. There were more than 100 main figures on the name list, and there were many people involved with these people. If the crimes were true, there would be hundreds of people who would be sentenced to more than 10 years in prison. Once these guys were eradicated, it would definitely be a great satisfaction. Su Yun's contribution in this matter was definitely not negligible. Such a huge case involved Hua Xia's lost capital, which was as high as hundreds of billions. Such a large amount of wealth would be returned because of Su Yun's trip to the United States. Su Yun's recovery of so much lost capital was highly valued. Regarding this, the country's top leaders even personally met with Su Yun and wanted to give him the position of Public Security Director in a coastal province that was very advanced in economic development in Huaxia. There were bound to be dirty transfers of illegal capital. However, Su Yun flatly refused. He had no interest in being an official at all. When the leader asked him for the reason, he said that if he was given such a big power, he was worried that he would make mistakes if his power was not monitored. Therefore, he didn't want to be a leader or an official. He didn't want to have power that ordinary people yearned for. For Su Yun, power was definitely not a good thing. It was a kind of power that would make people lose a lot of things. Without extraordinary determination, it was impossible to control power. However, Su Yun's determination was valued by the top leaders. Even so, Su Yun still refused. Since Su Yun's ambition wasn't here, no one forced him to accept the job. However, they didn't give up hope and actually let Wan Guangxiao try to persuade Su Yun. Chen Wei and Qin Wan both joined the task force of the capital loss case. They followed the task force to investigate and collect evidence and arrest criminals all over the country. Su Yun accepted Wan Guangxiao's invitation and went directly to Wan Guangxiao's house. When Su Yun arrived, Aunt Wan had already prepared a few cold dishes to go with the wine. Drunkard's peanuts, pickled pepper chicken feet, spicy dried tofu, and cold shredded potato. These were all Wan Guangxiao's favorite dishes. In addition to Wan Guangxiao, Wang Yi was also called here to help him try to persuade Su Yun. Su Yun looked at their posture and knew their intention. However, Su Yun didn't have that idea. He was prepared to play dumb until the end, drink to his heart's content, and then leave. Aunt Wan, just stew 2 hot dishes. Don't prepare so much. These few dishes are enough to go with the wine. Su Yun smiled and said. Wan Guangxiao pointed at the chair and said, "You just sit here and don't talk too much. After all, you are the big boss of Sky Entertainment Group. If I treat you with these few cold dishes, it will make you lose face." "Chief, please don't joke with me." Su Yun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Our country's super leaders don't have standards for their meals. At most, they have 4 dishes and 1 soup. Now, this standard for me is already not low. If you are really the director of the Provincial Public Security Department, these 4 dishes are indeed enough to entertain you. Wan Guangxiao went straight to the point and said, "But you are not the director now. You are the big boss, so these 4 dishes are definitely not enough." Aunt Wan smiled and said, "I just prepared a few home-cooked dishes. You guys drink first." Wang Yi opened the bottle and sniffed it. "Chief, your wine is really good. It's for you guys to drink. How can it be bad?" Wan Guangxiao laughed. Su Yun hurried forward and took the bottle of wine from Wang Yi's hand. Then, he filled both of their glasses and poured himself a glass. "Then we will drink first," Wan Guangxiao said to the kitchen. Aunt Wan replied and gestured for them not to wait. "Let's wait," Su Yun said. "How about this? You 2 drink first. I will go to the kitchen to help." "Sit down," Wan Guangxiao said. "Your Aunt Wan has treated you like a son since you were young. Don't be so polite. If you really treat your Aunt Wan as your real aunt, then sit here obediently." Su Yun had no choice but to listen to the chief. "Do you really think that there are 12 main dishes for you? There's nothing else inside. It's just a pot of stewed pork trotters, steamed crab, shrimp, oysters, and so on. There's nothing else. Sit down obediently and drink with us," Wan Guangxiao ordered. Su Yun raised his wine glass. "Then, let me first toast Aunt Wan for working so hard to prepare so many delicious dishes for me." "Okay, since you can drink, drink less. Don't drink all the wine." Wan Guangxiao laughed. Aunt Wan quickly served some steamed seafood and the stewed pork trotters. Then, she sat down with them. Su Yun immediately poured wine for Aunt Wan. Originally, Aunt Wan didn't want to drink, but when she saw Su Yun pour wine for her, she hesitated for a while and let Su Yun pour about 1/3 of the glass for her. "Your Aunt Wan usually doesn't drink at all. You have a lot of face." Wan Guangxiao sighed. Wang Yi also nodded and agreed. "Yes, in so many years, I've only seen sister-in-law drink twice. This is the 3rd time. Okay, hurry up and try my cooking." Aunt Wan used a pair of public chopsticks to pick up the tip of a pork trotter for Su Yun. "You must put some soybeans in this stewed pork trotter. That way, it will be soft enough to stew." Su Yun took a bite and sighed. "It's too delicious. If it's delicious, come often. I'll make it for you every time." Aunt Wan smiled. At this time, Wan Guangxiao kept giving her a look. She nodded slightly to show that she knew what to do. Su Yun laughed. "I don't have so much time to come often. Su Yun, I've watched you grow up since you were young." Aunt Wan suddenly changed the topic. I heard from your chief that the higher-ups nominated you to be the director of the Public Security Bureau. You directly rejected it? Yes, Aunt Juan. I don't follow the rules. I'm not suitable at all. Su Yun smiled. He knew that today was a feast at Hong Men. He was probably going to be besieged. You're not suitable? If you're not suitable, then who is? Aunt Juan stared and said, I think you're very suitable. Who said that you don't follow the rules? If you don't follow the rules, how can you persist for so many years under your chief? He would have kicked you out long ago. Su Yun nodded. That's exactly what I'm doing now. Don't talk nonsense. Your situation is different. Aunt Juan quickly said, Su Yun, I'm telling you. You have to think carefully about this matter. If you take this position, you can directly kill many dirty situations, so you must think carefully. Su Yun nodded. Yes, that's true. But I've already rejected it. Haha, I believe the country will arrange for a more suitable person to take the position. You child, why are you so disobedient? Now, as long as you say it, this position will be yours. Aunt Juan said, No one is more suitable than you. Wan Guangxiao smiled. Okay, if he's not willing, you don't have to force him. Old man, you're quite good at pretending to be a good person. Auntie Wan said, But isn't this good for Su Yun? Isn't it good for the country? Isn't it good for our society and our citizens? Yes. You're right. Wan Guangxiao was still smiling. But we have to eat first. Su Yun knew that they had discussed this. Although Wan Guangxiao felt that he was helping him, in fact, he wanted to give Su Yun some time to think about these words. Chapter 4006. Ling Feng found Sky Entertainment Hotel. After entering, he told the front desk staff that he was looking for Bai Xiaoye. Bai Xiaoye came out of the office and was surprised to see Ling Feng. Uncle Ling Feng, why did you come to Qingdao? This is too surprising. I'm here to look for Su Yun. Ling Feng smiled. Xiaoye, if you're busy with work, tell me where to find him. If it's convenient for you, bring me there. It's convenient for me, but it'll be troublesome for me to bring you there, Bai Xiaoye said. Ling Feng was stunned. Troublesome? What do you mean? Let's go to the office. I'll tell you slowly, Bai Xiaoye said. Ling Feng nodded and followed Bai Xiaoye to her office in the hotel. My brother isn't on Qingdao right now. He went to Yanjing. Bai Xiaoye poured a cup of tea for Ling Feng. He needs to deal with something, but he should be able to settle it soon. He'll be back soon. Oh, he went to Yanjing, Ling Feng said calmly. What is it? Do you need my help? No need. Bai Xiaoye shook her head. He's not going to do anything dangerous. He's just going to... Forget it. It's useless to tell you. He'll be back soon anyway. Is there something urgent you need to talk to him about? Ling Feng was stunned. He wasn't prepared to say this to Bai Xiaoye. No. It's nothing. Ling Feng wasn't a liar, so when he wanted to hide something, he would stutter. Uncle Ling Feng, what's the matter? Bai Xiaoye frowned. Is it something troublesome? Or is it something urgent? This. Ling Feng didn't know how to hide it. Bai Xiaoye was a little angry. What can't you tell me? If you can tell my brother, then you can tell me everything. Of course I know. I just don't know how to tell you. Ling Feng said helplessly, if Su Yun were here, it would be much easier. But now that he's not here, I really don't know how to tell you directly. Bai Xiaoye was confused by Ling Feng's words. I don't understand what you're talking about. Uncle Ling Feng, you should drink some tea and organize your thoughts. Okay. Ling Feng also felt embarrassed. He quickly picked up the teacup and drank a mouthful of tea. Bai Xiaoye looked at him with confusion and curiosity, hoping that he could give her a reasonable answer immediately. I'm also very anxious right now. Ling Feng said helplessly, but if Su Yun isn't here, I'm afraid you won't be able to accept it. So, you can understand my dilemma right now, right? Bai Xiaoye shook her head. I don't understand. But I can feel that you're not here for anything good. Bai Xiaoye frowned. If it's a good thing, you wouldn't say that, so. But this really can't be considered a bad thing. Ling Feng shook his head. Actually, this is a very good thing, a piece of good news, but. Don't say, but. Tell me the good news first. Then tell me what the trouble is. Otherwise, I won't even have the chance to be happy. Bai Xiaoye was speechless. Uncle Ling Feng, you really need to communicate with people more in the future. Talking to you is really tiring. Ling Feng was also helpless. If it wasn't for Zhua Lengyue's order, he wouldn't have come here to communicate with them. Ling Feng wasn't a person who liked to communicate with people. Okay, you'll know about this sooner or later. There's no harm in telling you first. Ling Feng made up his mind. Then I'll leave the task of informing Su Yun to you later. Okay. Hurry up and tell me. I'll help you pass the message. My brother might not even be willing to listen to you. It's too tiring. Bai Xiaoye said helplessly. Ling Feng's expression became serious. This matter wasn't as relaxed as before. There's news about you and Su Yun's father. Bai Xiaoye's expression changed instantly. To be honest, Bai Xiaoye never thought that she would hear about her father in this lifetime. This was the most absent-minded thing in Bai Xiaoye's heart after hearing it. She didn't know if she should have any reaction, such as excitement, happiness, or anger. After all, this person had never appeared in her life. The only thing he did for her was give birth to a brother who treated her well and could be relied on. Therefore, Bai Xiaoye's feelings for Su Chen were very strange. It wasn't right to say that she didn't feel anything at all. She was actually very curious about what kind of bewitching potion this person had given her mother to make the famous empress go crazy for him. You're saying that you found the island my mother asked you to look for? Bai Xiaoye asked indifferently. Yes. Marty Franz Island. Marty Franz Island is a prison for serious criminals. Ling Feng nodded. Bai Xiaoye took a deep breath. Yes, it's this Marty Franz Island. After so many years, Bai Xiaoye had never remembered the name of this prison for serious criminals. Marty Franz Island sounded very different from the Maldives Island, but she always felt that Marty Franz Island was similar to the Maldives Island. Therefore, she couldn't be bothered to remember the name of this prison for serious criminals. Marty Franz Island, Ling Feng emphasized again. Bai Xiaoye nodded. I know. Marty Franz Island is a prison for serious criminals, right? Yes. Ling Feng nodded. All right. Bai Xiaoye said, I'll remember this time. Now, do you want me to inform my brother of this news? Ling Feng nodded. Also, tell him that we need his help. What do you want to do? Is my mother really going to take action? Bai Xiaoye was startled. Ling Feng didn't avoid Bai Xiaoye's question. Yes, the Empress is preparing to take action, but we don't have much time to prepare because there's a riot on Marty Franz Island. There are some serious problems inside the prison for serious criminals. Bai Xiaoye frowned. What problems can there be in that place? Isn't that place the only prison in the world that's worthy of being called an iron bastion? Indeed. Ling Feng nodded. Then, how can someone cause a riot there? Bai Xiaoye said, I really can't figure it out. Moreover, all of you said that he's the most powerful person in the world. If there's a riot in the prison where he's locked up, wouldn't he have a chance to break out on his own? Why would he need others to save him? Xiaoye, things are much more complicated than you think. Ling Feng shook her head. It's not a problem that can be solved so easily. The reason for the riot is also very complicated. It's not something that can be explained in 1 or 2 sentences. Bai Xiaoye nodded to show that she understood and didn't need Ling Feng to explain further. Right now, we need to save your father. This is a very good opportunity, but at the same time, it's also a very dangerous one. Ling Feng said, the Empress thinks that if we miss this opportunity, we won't be able to wait for a better one. Bai Xiaoye frowned and said, Okay, I'll inform my brother now, but I can't guarantee what he'll think of this matter. Su Yun won't let go of any chance to save his father, Ling Feng said. He has to stand up and help us. Otherwise, the possibility of us saving him is very slim. I don't want the Empress to die in that damn prison. With you guys by her side, how can my mother die in there with her strength? Bai Xiaoye took out her phone and said in disbelief. Yes, if she has the will to fight, the 5 of us will protect her and definitely not let her get into trouble. But if there is no way to save your father, do you think she will break out with us and leave? Ling Feng asked back, with your mother's temper, you should be very clear about it yourself. She would rather stay in there with your father and never see the light of day than give up on him and escape. Bai Xiaoye was stunned. She knew that Ling Feng wasn't wrong at all. Her mother was such a person. No one knew her mother better than her. We must succeed. We can't fail. Ling Feng clenched her fists. Chapter 4007. Su Yun, the old chief Wan Guangxiao, and your master Wang Yi toasted each other and spoke freely. Wan Guangxiao felt that Su Yun had thought it through, so he asked again, Su Yun, I know that some jobs may not be suitable for you. But have you ever thought about the benefits of having people who worked for me, Wan Guangxiao, become officials? Su Yun frowned. Chief, your subordinates are all soldiers. Only a few retired soldiers can become officials. It's not suitable at all. Not suitable? Wan Guangxiao said. Also, why are you so sure that only a few soldiers can become officials? But that's the truth. At least none of your subordinates became officials, right? Su Yun, it's a waste for any of your subordinates to do this kind of job. What do you think? Good boy, you've learned how to be a general. Do you think that it's a waste of talent for me to let you be the director of the Public Security Bureau? Wan Guangxiao said, This is not the thought of a good comrade. It's definitely not a waste of talent for me to let you be the director of the Public Security Bureau. Su Yun nodded. I know. Of course, I know what you mean. You said that none of my subordinates became officials. Then let me ask you, where's Du Wen? Wan Guangxiao said. Su Yun was stunned for a moment. Yes, he had been wondering about this for a long time. The last time he went to the brigade, he didn't see Du Wen. Du Wen was Wan Guangxiao's secretary. It was really strange that he didn't appear beside Wan Guangxiao for many consecutive times. Wang Yi smiled slightly. Your Du Wen went to Zhongbei province. After adapting to the public security work for a while, he was officially appointed as the director of the Public Security Bureau of Zhongbei province last week. Su Yun's jaw dropped. This news was truly shocking. My brother Du Wen went to become an official? Su Yun couldn't help but shake his head. He really couldn't believe it. This news was too shocking. Wang Yi nodded. That's right. Do you think he's still working in the brigade? He should have been fired a long time ago. If you said you fired him, I might not be so surprised. Su Yun smiled bitterly. You really don't know how to control your words. It's as if we like to fire people. Wan Guangxiao laughed out loud. Chief, I think Brother Du Wen is indeed suitable for that position. Su Yun said, On the list I got from Baldwin, at least a quarter of the people are from Zhongbei. This shows that the problem in Zhongbei is very serious. After all, Zhongbei's economy is too developed. When the economy is developed, it's easy for this kind of situation to happen. Wan Guangxiao nodded. Yes, that's true. But Zhongbei is not the only place where the problem is serious. There are other places as well. Moreover, you only got rid of Baldwin. Who knows, there might be Yu Duan, Shen Duan overseas. Anyway, this kind of situation needs to be controlled from all places. Zhongbei needs experienced people like Du Wen. Su Yun lowered his head. I know you must think that Du Wen was injured before, so he is suitable for this job. But you are not suitable. Wan Guangxiao said. But you have to think about it from another perspective. Wang Yi smiled and said, That's true. For the sake of the country, there are many people who use the name of the people to cause trouble. Now, We really need some people like you to sound the alarm for those people. Aunt Juan gave Su Yun a crab. Son, to be honest, you can solve a lot of problems. Aunt Juan, you flatter me. Su Yun smiled embarrassedly. No, I'm not flattering you. I'm just stating a fact. Aunt Juan said, nowadays, there are not many people that the country and party can trust. Some people seem trustworthy at first, but after they start doing things, they slowly change. Wan Guangxiao sighed. The temptation of this society is too great. People will not only change, but they will also change very quickly and greatly. Many people were kind and sincere at first, but they changed under all kinds of temptations. Some changed because of power, some changed because of money, some changed because of sex. In short, those who changed because of these things, 100% of them changed for the worse. It was impossible to say that some people changed for the better because of these things. That was nonsense. Now, in the eyes of your chief, the only people who will not change are those who can really sacrifice their lives for the interests of the country and the people again and again. Auntie Wan said, the people in your brigade have done the same thing time and time again, throwing themselves into danger. They have never wanted the title of hero, reward, or coronation just because of a little merit. Their motive for doing all of this is the most primitive one. It's for the country and the people, and not for their own promotion and wealth. So, you are the most trustworthy people. Su Yun smiled. Auntie Wan, we aren't the only people who are trustworthy. There are many people who are trustworthy. It's determination. With power, you need to have determination. Without determination, you will make mistakes. So, each of you is much more determined than those people, Wan Guangxiao said. Child, you should know very well how much power a director of the Public Security Bureau has. He has power, people, and guns. If such a position is not given to someone who has enough determination and is absolutely trustworthy, who else can be more suitable? Auntie Wan said again. Su Yun was really helpless. Aunt Wan was forcing him. But Su Yun knew in his heart that they had good intentions. And there was one thing that Su Yun had to admit. All of this was definitely not for them, and definitely not for him, Su Yun. Their starting point was for the country and the people. Su Yun knew them too well. Come, have another drink. Wan Guangxiao raised his glass and said, we are not in a hurry to get your answer on this matter. You can think about it carefully. A country's prosperity and stability must be from the inside out. Su Yun nodded and raised his glass. The chief's words were right. They struck a chord with Su Yun's heart. I'll drink to you. You can drink to your heart's content. Su Yun raised his glass. After another 3 to 5 glasses of wine, Su Yun began to seriously consider this problem under the three people's explicit and implicit instructions. It was not impossible for him to do such a thing. Although this kind of thing would be very busy, as long as he could set up a perfect system from the start and pursue accountability, he believed that after everything was in order, he would not have too many complicated matters to deal with. After all, Tianyu Group still had Zhuo Meiyan and Ruan Qingshuang. With people worthy of his trust, he naturally would not have any worries. Think about it carefully, child. Aunt Wan picked up a prawn for Su Yun again. Eat more. At your age, you should be able to eat the most. Let me tell you, when your chief was your age, a basin of pork trotters was not even enough for him to eat alone. Wan Guangxiao sighed. Look at how exaggerated you are. A basin of pork trotters? When I was his age, the country was only 10 years old. How could I eat so many pork trotters? Ha ha ha, don't talk about pork trotters. I didn't even dare to think about eating a basin of pork back then. Speaking up to this point, Wan Guangxiao laughed even louder. But after his laughter subsided, he slammed his wine glass on the table. What kind of conditions are these now? Don't even talk about high-ranking officials. Even the lowest-ranking official's monthly salary and allowance is enough for them to have pork trotters for every meal. Wan Guangxiao was angry. Some of the high-ranking officials even enjoy the best treatment and benefits of the country. And they still want to be greedy. These people deserve to die. The country should catch them and kill them. What sentencing and sentencing? They should just be sentenced to death. The other three fell silent. Wan Guangxiao's eyes were red. Robbing banks is a serious crime. Robbing military supplies and disaster relief supplies is a serious crime. They are all serious enough to be sentenced to death. Why aren't all those who are corrupt sentenced to death? Robbing banks is robbing the people's money. Robbing military supplies and disaster relief supplies are the people's supplies. Aren't the people the ones who are corrupt? The logic is the same. They should all be executed. All corrupt criminals deserve to die. There's no need for a sentence, and there's nothing to explain. Su Yun was shocked by Wan Guangxiao's anger. He did not expect Wan Guangxiao to hate those people so much. At this moment, he decided that he would accept the country's appointment and become the director of the Public Security Bureau. He would cooperate with the prosecutors to investigate and collect evidence from disgusting facts and situations. Just as he was about to speak to Wan Guangxiao, his phone rang. It was by Xiaoye. Chapter 4008. Su Yun gestured to the chief and the others to answer the call. Then, he got up and answered the call. Xiaoye. Brother, Ling Feng came to Guqin Island. Bai Xiaoye tried her best to sound calm. After all, this kind of thing would cause her emotions to fluctuate. Ling Feng. Su Yun was startled. When he said this name, Wan Guangxiao and the others were also attracted to it. Ling Feng was one of the 5 war gods of the underground world. Other than the Empress, he had never lost to anyone. These 5 guys had all sworn an oath to the Empress and were loyal to her. And looking at the battle between the 5 war gods, Ling Feng had the upper hand. His strength was definitely at the top of the Earth Profound Realm, and he was about to break through to the Sky Profound Realm. Even if Wan Guangxiao were to fight him one-on-one, it would probably be a 50-50 victory. Bai Xiaoye nodded. Yes, Ling Feng. He came to tell me something and asked me to pass it on to you. Good news or bad news? Su Yun frowned. His sixth sense inexplicably told him that the news Ling Feng brought this time was most likely related to the prison on Marty Franz Island. It had to be said that humans' extrasensory perception was very accurate sometimes. Su Yun's intuition was very accurate most of the time, even though it was just a kind of prediction that was reflected by an unknown cell or organ in the brain. I don't know either. It sounds like good news and bad news at the same time, Bai Xiaoye said. But for us now, it's more inclined towards good news. At this time, Su Yun's sixth sense became even stronger. He couldn't help but blurt out, could it be about Marty Franz Island? Wan Guangxiao and Wang Yi were completely stunned. If this call was about Marty Franz Island, they wouldn't be surprised at all. It was no secret that Zhualangyue had been looking for Marty Franz Island for so many years. The 5 war gods worked for Zhualangyue, and Ling Feng was her right-hand man. It was absolutely possible that this guy brought the news of Marty Franz Island. Brother, even if you can read minds, how did you read it over the phone? Bai Xiaoye was really surprised. Yes, it's about Marty Franz Island. The excitement on Su Yun's face was completely uncontrollable. This is good news, but you actually said that it's bad news. Are you messing with me? I'm not done yet, brother. We did find information about Marty Franz Island, but... Bai Xiaoye changed the topic. There's a riot in the prison for criminals on Marty Franz Island. So, I don't think it's just good news. Su Yun was stunned. That was indeed the case. The riot on Marty Franz Island was like a double-edged sword for Su Yun. It meant that he had a chance to find his father and bring him out of this damn place. However, this opportunity was so dangerous and difficult. Originally, breaking into Marty Franz Island was already an extremely difficult task. Now that there was a riot there, it meant that things had become even more difficult. I'm afraid I can't explain the specific situation over the phone. Have you settled things on your side? If so, come back as soon as possible, Bai Xiaoye said. At this time, Ling Feng, who had been silent all this time, couldn't help but lean close to Bai Xiaoya's phone and say, "Whether you've settled things on your side or not, you should come back as soon as possible. At least, I think this is the most important thing for you. Nothing can be more important than this." Bai Xiaoya rolled her eyes at Ling Feng. "Since you're so good at talking, then tell me. Here's the phone." Ling Feng waved his hand and took a step back, shaking his head. "Brother, this is the situation," Bai Xiaoya said. "It seems to be quite urgent, but don't be too anxious. I'm afraid this kind of thing can't be solved by being anxious. The sooner you can come back, the better." "I'll go back right away." Su Yun hung up after saying this. At this time, he couldn't calm down at all. Of course, he would rush back as soon as possible. He had to rush back as soon as possible. Wan Guangxiao and the others didn't mean to listen to the conversation, but now that they heard it, they couldn't ignore the current situation. "Su Yun, I'm sorry to overhear your call," Wan Guangxiao said directly. "Come and sit down. I want to hear your thoughts." "I don't dare to hide this kind of thing from you," Su Yun said. "Since you heard it, I don't need to explain anymore." Wan Guangxiao nodded. "Just tell me your thoughts." "I'm going back to Qingdao now," Su Yun said. "Find Ling Feng and ask him about it. If we need to start the operation immediately, I'll go with him immediately." "You mean you believe that Zhuo Langyue already has a plan?" Wan Guangxiao asked. Su Yun nodded. He definitely believed this. "Okay, since you're in a hurry to go back, I won't stop you. But I have a few words. I hope you can listen to them before you leave." "It won't take long," Wan Guangxiao said. When Wang Yi heard this, he couldn't help but say, "Chief, are you really going to let him go? This is obviously a matter of life and death, this." "Let me finish." Wan Guangxiao nodded. Wang Yi didn't say anything. He didn't want to let Su Yun go now. If Su Yun followed Zhuo Langyue to do something rash, the consequences would be unimaginable. Su Yun knew that they were all worried about him, so he sat quietly in his seat. "You're Su Chen's son. Obviously, we can't stop you." Wan Guangxiao said, "If you do as we say, you're not a son of the Su family. I know this better than anyone else, because I'm probably one of the few old guys in the world who can understand your father, that bastard." Su Yun smiled. "You can do what you want. I support you." Wan Guangxiao continued, "But I want to tell you that if you need our help, you can ask us directly." Su Yun was stunned. Obviously, he didn't expect Wan Guangxiao to say this. Wan Guangxiao continued, "Although I don't have the authority to do something that I think absolutely shouldn't be done. But I have the authority to give your brothers in the Dragon Brigade a holiday for 10 days to half a month." "Commander!" Wang Yi was dumbfounded. It seemed that Wan Guangxiao was going to go crazy this time. But if there was an accident, he would make a big mistake. This old commander who had never made a mistake in his life actually had a young impulse in this matter. Obviously, Wang Yi couldn't imagine this. Wan Guangxiao smiled slightly. "You should know what kind of person I am. No one can persuade me to do what I want to do." Wang Yi was silent. Of course, he also supported Wan Guangxiao, but this matter made him worry about Wan Guangxiao. "Commander, this matter shouldn't involve our brigade. Su Yun, this Marty's Franz Island is also an unregulated area. No one can say no to my people going there." Wan Guangxiao said firmly, "There are 8 batches of people serving in the Dragon Brigade. If I arrange a holiday for your batch, I can still guarantee the safety of Huaxia and ensure the arrangement of all the missions. Who can say no to me?" Su Yun was stunned. He really didn't dare to expect Wan Guangxiao to support him so much. "Commander, I promise you. If I need anything, I will ask." Su Yun nodded hard. Wan Guangxiao shook his head with a smile. "You will definitely need it." "Maybe little mom is prepared," Su Yun said. "Yes, I believe Zhuo Langyue must be prepared. If it's an ordinary matter, she will definitely be able to respond to her call." Wan Guangxiao said, "The people she can gather may be more than the whole Dragon Brigade." As he spoke, Wan Guangxiao changed the topic. "However, How many people do you think would dare to listen to her orders when it comes to fighting against Matty and the Franz Island felon prison? Or perhaps how many people can guarantee that they won't betray her at the last minute? Su Yun was stunned on the spot. If you ask me, only 5 people. Wan Guangxiao smiled, stretched out 5 fingers, and said, lightning in the wind, thunder in the south, hurricane in the empty mountain, blazing sun, and roaring waves in the East Sea. I can't think of a 6th person. Chapter 4009. Su Yun was speechless in the face of Wan Guangxiao's words. Wan Guangxiao met Su Yun's astonished gaze and asked, "Can you tell me the name of the 6th person?" Su Yun thought for a long time and finally shook his head. He really couldn't think of the 6th person's name. But you are different. As long as the news is spread, those who are willing to appear by your side and fight for you and your father will be a force to be reckoned with. Wan Guangxiao continued, I know Zhuo Lengyue. Even if she had a 60% chance of solving this matter, she wouldn't let Ling Feng inform you of this matter. Why? Su Yun didn't understand. Could it be that she likes to take risks by herself? Wan Guangxiao sighed helplessly. If someone asks me if there is a woman in this world who loves your father more than your mother, Yun Luyen, the only name that comes to my mind is Zhuo Lengyue. Su Yun didn't understand the love and hate of the previous generation and didn't want to know more. Therefore, Wan Guangxiao's words surprised Su Yun. Zhuo Lengyue is a woman who is crazy about Su Chen. Wan Guangxiao said, even if you are the son of Yun Luyen, the woman she envies and envies the most in her life, she has never had the slightest intention to harm you. Why? It's all because of Su Chen. Su Yun could understand this point. Zhuo Lengyue loved the house and its crow. Because of his father, she accepted him without hesitation and treated him as her own child. You are Su Chen's only son and the only man to carry on the Su family's ancestral line. Wan Guangxiao said, therefore, Zhuo Lengyue knows how important you are better than anyone else. If she has a way to solve this problem without you taking risks, she won't inform you. Also, informing you is the same as informing your sister, Bai Xiaoye, who is her and Su Chen's biological daughter. Even if she can accept you taking risks, can she accept her and Su Chen's only daughter taking risks? Su Yun was enlightened. Wan Guangxiao's words woke Su Yun up. The degree of difficulty of this matter was far beyond Su Yun's imagination. Even the Empress was so cautious and didn't have more than 50% confidence. Su Yun, remember, this matter doesn't concern you alone, Wan Guangxiao said. Never forget that your father, Su Chen, is also a member of Dragon's Fury. Su Yun clenched his teeth and nodded. Eat this crab before you leave. Auntie Wan had no intention of keeping Su Yun. The next time you come over for a meal, it will be at least when this matter is over. Eat more. His case yans s's goods. His s's. His Su Yun nodded and sat down to finish the clear yong crab in front of him. Hurry up and go back when you're full. I've already asked someone to drive to the entrance and wait for you. Wan Guangxiao smiled and said, don't let Ling Feng wait too long. Even though I don't have much contact with him, I've heard that he's an impatient person. He's never been patient. Su Yun smiled and said, that's true. But this time, regardless of whether he's patient or not, I'm afraid he'll have to wait for me to go back. That's true, Wan Guangxiao nodded and said, he won't dare to neglect the Empress's task. Go, and remember what I said. Your father is also a member of Dragon's Fury. Now, any member of Dragon's Fury has the obligation to save him. Su Yun nodded and stood up to bid farewell to the 3 of them. Child, safety first. Aunt Wan held Su Yun's arm. Wang Yi waved his hand to signal Su Yun not to waste time and said, don't forget that I'm also a member of Dragon's Fury. Su Yun grinned, turned around, and left. Wan Guangxiao had already arranged for someone to send him back. What surprised Su Yun was that the driver was actually Qian Feng. This guy really hid himself well. After receiving the order to send him back to Qingdao, he didn't even inform Su Yun beforehand. This was to give him a surprise. Boss, I didn't disappoint you, right? Chen Feng grinned and said, What's the matter? Why are you in such a hurry to go back? Drive. Su Yun smiled and said, I'll tell you on the way. Chen Feng said to the three people outside the car, Chief, you should all go back to the house. It's cold outside. Let's go. Don't worry, I promise to complete the mission and send him to Qingdao safely. Take care of yourself. Wan Guangxiao waved his hand. Okay. Chen Feng slowly started the car and left. Su Yun also waved his hand outside the window to signal the three of them to go back. After the taillights of the car disappeared, Wan Guangxiao turned to Wang Yi and said, I'm afraid you'll have to go personally this time. I'm always ready. Wang Yi smiled and said, Chief, speaking of which, I'm happier than you. Your heart must be itching now, but you can't go even if you want to. Ha ha ha, I'm more comfortable. You know that I can't go, and I'm already uncomfortable. Why are you still adding fuel to the fire? Wan Guangxiao said, Do you believe that I won't let you go? Wang Yi shook his head and said, I don't believe you. You. Wan Guangxiao was speechless. He couldn't help it. Wang Yi knew him too well. You won't let me go? Can you be at ease? Wang Yi smiled and said, Although the strength of those guys has soared, and my ability may be nothing in front of Su Yun, as long as I'm here, your heart won't be in your throat all the time. Wan Guangxiao pointed at his collarbone and said, Even if you go, my heart will still be in this place. You can't mess it up. I'll give you a military order, Wang Yi said. If anyone can't come back safely, I'll bring my head and ask for punishment. If something happens, it's useless even if you bring your head and ask for punishment. Wan Guangxiao shook his head and said, What I want is for there to be no accidents. I don't care if I'll be punished or not, but I definitely won't allow the people I send to not come back. Okay. I promise. Wang Yi smiled and said, I'm under a lot of pressure. If this matter is messed up, you'll probably be expelled from the party, right? I don't care. Wan Guangxiao said, I've lived for most of my life, and I can see through anything. Wang Yi laughed even more happily. That's good. As long as you can see through it, I won't have so much pressure, ha ha ha. Okay, you two hurry into the house. Don't drink the wine, but eat all the dishes. Aunt Wan said, Don't waste it. At our age, we won't feel well if we eat too much at night, Wan Guangxiao said helplessly. I don't care if you feel well or not. Who asked you to let Su Yun go in such a hurry? Auntie Wan said, He's a young man and he can definitely finish it all. But in the end, you guys didn't even say a few more words and brought Chen Feng over so early. Wan Guangxiao shook his head helplessly and said, Okay, it's my fault. I'll eat it all. Let's go, old Wang. Don't leave your mouth idle. I still have something to do at home. You're an unmarried old man. You don't even have anyone at home. What can happen to you? Aunt Wan said angrily. Chen Feng drove quickly onto the main road. Brother, did something big happen on Qingdao? Something big happened, but it's not on Qingdao, Su Yun said. Then what can I do? Chen Feng asked. If I need you, I won't leave you behind. Su Yun smiled. I know you're all my brothers. Don't worry. Chen Feng said, Brother, although I don't know if it's good news for you to go back, I have good news for you. Su Yun was stunned. What good news? Fan Shuang-er is coming back. Chen Feng said, She'll be back tomorrow. You've been reporting to the higher-ups today, so we didn't have a chance to inform you. It seems that the chief didn't tell you either. Su Yun was stunned for a long time. Fan Shuang-er? Wasn't she already? Huang Fu-Gua is indeed one of the three kings. He saved Fan Shuang-er's life. Chen Feng explained directly. When you're done with your work on Qingdao, you must come back to the brigade. I've already informed you. Although I don't know if it will affect your mood, I can't help but want to tell you. Su Yun's smile came from the bottom of his heart. This happiness couldn't be described with words. He patted Chen Feng's shoulder heavily and squeezed it hard. You brat. You have to be like this in the future. Don't hide anything from me. Of course. You're my boss after all. Chen Feng grinned. This good news made all the unhappiness in Su Yun's heart disappear. He was extremely happy. Chapter 40:10. Happiness was important, but what was happening now was what Su Yun needed to consider. Chen Feng drove Su Yun back to Qingdao that very night and went to see Ling Feng immediately. Bai Xiaoye had arranged for Ling Feng to stay at Sky Entertainment Hotel, so he didn't sleep for the whole night. Su Yun was finally back, and he could finally give the Empress an explanation. After Su Yun came back, Ling Feng explained the whole thing to Su Yun in detail, including how he found Marty Franz Island. Su Yun asked him in detail. This matter that had troubled Su Yun for so long was finally resolved today. The Empress sent me here to ask you if you are willing to participate in this matter. Ling Feng said, if you are not willing to participate, then take it as if I never came. You think I won't participate? Su Yun asked. Since you are here, you know I will definitely agree. Yes, indeed, I hope you can participate in this matter, Ling Feng said. At first, the Empress didn't want you to participate, but we need help in this matter, and we need a lot of help. You are the only candidate. Su Yun listened to Ling Feng quietly. The words that Wan Guangxiao said to him last night were still fresh in his mind. It seemed like the only people that his stepmother could trust 100% were the 5 war gods. To me, I am not the one helping you, but you are the one helping me. Su Yun said, I will definitely do what I should do. Please don't worry. If you need me to do anything, please feel free to ask. Ling Feng knew that Su Yun would be so straightforward. We need manpower that you can trust 100%. Su Yun nodded and motioned for Ling Feng to continue. You don't need to worry about the rest. We will prepare the ships and landing craft. Ling Feng said, the only thing we need is trustworthy manpower. This is the most indispensable thing now. I understand, Su Yun said. Bai Xiaoye added, of course, we have trustworthy people around us. Don't worry about this. Ling Feng glanced at Bai Xiaoye. Before Su Yun came back, he didn't bring this up. Now that Su Yun was back, he had to speak up. Xiaoye, there's something I want to tell you. Bai Xiaoye was startled. She clearly felt that something was wrong. If I don't want to hear it, then it's best not to say it. It's not that you don't like to hear it. It's just that the Empress is worried about you, Ling Feng said. At this time, he didn't need to say it clearly. Everyone understood. Don't joke with me. Since my brother can go, why can't I go? Bai Xiaoye was immediately displeased. My brother is Su Chen's son. Am I not his daughter? Do I have any reason not to go? Ling Feng was embarrassed and had a helpless look on his face. Su Yun said, Xiaoye, this isn't his idea. It's little mom's idea. There's no point in yelling at him. I don't care whose idea it is. In any case, if anyone tries to stop me, don't blame me for ignoring them for the rest of my life. Bai Xiaoye glared at him. This sentence directly shut Su Yun up. Su Yun didn't dare to persuade her anymore. It's not that the Empress only wants Su Yun to go and not you. That's because your brother's strength is far above yours. I just checked his neishi. His strength is almost on par with mine. Ling Feng said. Although I don't know how he improved his strength so quickly, I have to admit that I admire him. We can't lose a fighting force like him. Bai Xiaoye rolled her eyes in anger. Am I that weak? I'm not saying that you're weak. It's just that the people below the 3rd floor of the Franz Island prison are far stronger than you. If you're not careful, you'll be in danger, Ling Feng said. Then I'm not strong enough to survive on the 1st and 2nd floors? Bai Xiaoye continued to press on. Ling Feng was stunned for a moment before nodding. This isn't a problem. After all, Bai Xiaoye was also a high-level grandmaster. With her strength, she was definitely invincible on the 2nd floor and above. Then do you have any reason not to let me go? Bai Xiaoye continued to ask. But you can't just stop on the second floor. Ling Feng said bluntly. Once you go, no one can control you. Xiaoye, it's not that I don't know you. With your personality, it's really... Bai Xiaoye rolled her eyes. What kind of personality do I have? Ling Feng was speechless. Su Yun stepped out to help Ling Feng. We all know what kind of personality you have. You're a player who doesn't know what it means to play League of Legends. Even if you're using the most vulnerable ADC, you still dare to rush under the enemy's tower and kill them. Fine, I admit that I've done that before. But it's fine as long as I have the mechanics. It's fine as long as I get the head. It doesn't matter if I'm low on health. I'll still be alive anyway, Bai Xiaoye argued. But we're not going to the Franz Island prison to play games. Su Yun's voice became serious. If you're low on health, you won't be able to teleport back to recover. Bai Xiaoye glanced at Su Yun. Of course I know. I'm not that stupid. How could I not know? I can separate reality from the game. How could I do that in real life? Su Yun frowned. To be honest, he didn't want Bai Xiaoye to go either. After all, the Franz Island prison was too dangerous. They were well aware of this. Zhua Lengyue had arranged for Ling Feng to persuade Bai Xiaoye to give up at the risk of angering her again. This showed how dangerous this mission was for Bai Xiaoye. I know. I'm a god-level player in the game, but you guys are the real gods in real life. I won't be so stupid as to rush to the front, Bai Xiaoye promised. I promise I'll listen to your orders. If you want me to attack, I'll attack. If you want me to retreat, I'll retreat. If you want me to fight the Overlord, I'll fight the Overlord. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. Is that not enough? Ling Feng looked at Su Yun expectantly. He hoped that Su Yun would help him persuade Bai Xiaoye. As long as Bai Xiaoye was persuaded, everything would be much easier. Since you've said so much, I'm afraid I can't help much. Su Yun looked at Ling Feng helplessly. If you can persuade her, then do it. If not, then I can only bring her along. Ling Feng was very disappointed. But the Empress wants me to persuade Xiaoye. How? Su Yun retorted. It's her father who's locked up there. Her mother and brother are going to do this, and you want her to stay thousands of miles away to watch? Do you think you would agree if you were in her shoes? Ling Feng was speechless. No matter who it was, no one would agree to such a thing. Even if Bai Xiaoye didn't have any feelings for her father, she still had feelings for her mother. After spending so much time together, she also had feelings for her brother, Su Yun. Normal people wouldn't let their loved ones take risks and leave them alone. But Bai Xiaoye didn't wait for Ling Feng to finish his sentence and immediately interrupted him. No buts. You can't persuade me. But I can't go back and explain to the Empress. Ling Feng shook his head helplessly. If she felt that she could convince me, I believe she would have come herself. Since she didn't, it means that she knew from the start that she couldn't convince me with any reason, Bai Xiaoye said firmly. Su Yun smiled bitterly and shook his head. He couldn't do anything about this. Ling Feng wanted to ask Su Yun for help, but Su Yun didn't even look at him. There was no reason for Bai Xiaoye to listen to him. This was requested by the Empress. The four of them rejected it and said that you will only listen to me. Ling Feng smiled bitterly. Xiaoye, can you treat it as giving Uncle Ling Feng some face? Giving you face? Then why don't you give me face? This isn't a matter of face. This is something I can't avoid. Bai Xiaoye insisted. I will never change my position. Su Yun said to Ling Feng indifferently, I don't think there's a need to waste time on this. Chapter 40:11. This kind of impossible request was really just a waste of time. Su Yun's words were already very direct. Since my stepmother didn't come personally, it means that she is mentally prepared for your failure. Su Yun continued, so let's end this topic here. But how am I going to explain it when I go back? Ling Feng was helpless. Su Yun only said 4 simple words. Tell the truth. Then I will. Ling Feng didn't finish his sentence in the end. He sighed heavily and said, Sigh. Fine, fine, fine. That's it then. I have nothing else to say. Since you have already made your decision, let's do it according to your wishes. When are we taking action? Su Yun couldn't wait any longer. Ling Feng became serious again and said, Dong Hai must have already rushed over. As for when we will take action, it will depend on the situation. There's no way to confirm it. So what we can do now is to gather as soon as possible? Su Yun asked. Yes. Ling Feng nodded. Since this was the case, Su Yun didn't say anything else and said, Tell me the time and place. In that case, we will gather at Marsa Island in the south-central part of the Pacific Ocean. Ling Feng continued, As for the time, I naturally hope that it will be as soon as possible. However, you will definitely need time to prepare the manpower. That will depend on your own time. Even if we go there in advance, we will need a few days to prepare the ships. After all, Marsa Island is still a long distance away from our destination. Su Yun nodded and said, Okay, no problem. Ling Feng couldn't wait to return and report to the Empress. Since I have already passed on the message, I have no way to persuade Xiao Yi. I will go back first. Okay. I will arrange for someone to send you to the airport. Su Yun knew that now wasn't the time for guests to drink tea. After Ling Feng left, Su Yun sank into silence. He indeed needed to think about this matter carefully. Zhualang Yue said that she needed manpower, and that meant that she really needed manpower. However, the number of people around him that he could immediately contact might not be enough. Qian Feng, who had been listening to the entire conversation, was dumbfounded. Boss, I have to report this matter immediately. You need our support. Chief already knew about it yesterday, Su Yun said. Qian Feng was stunned. At this time, Su Yun's phone suddenly rang. He took it out and glanced at it. It was Wang Yi. Su Yun picked up the phone. Before he could say hello, Wang Yi spoke first. Kid, I guess you're almost done with your business, right? We've already finished organizing the team in Beijing. We're just waiting for you to tell us where to gather. Master. Su Yun was so touched that he didn't know what to say. With so many brothers behind him, he had nothing to worry about. Ling Feng said to gather at Marsa Island in the middle and south of the Pacific Ocean. Come to Guqin Island first. There's a large private jet that I drove back from the United States. We'll set off from Guqin Island together. Okay, no problem. Wang Yi said, We'll arrive at Qingdao before 3 in the afternoon. I'll wait for you. Su Yun hung up the phone. Qian Feng was so happy that he couldn't close his mouth. Boss, does this mean that Chief and the others are very supportive of our operation this time? Let me tell you, Marty Franz Island is not an ordinary place. When the time comes, don't act rashly. You must listen to Master's instructions. Su Yun said, We're going to fight as a team, not as a hero. Qian Feng was shocked. He's going to personally go into battle? If he didn't arrange for you to lead you, do you think the chief would be assured to let you follow me to do this? Su Yun said. What's there to be worried about? You've brought us to do so many dangerous things. Qian Feng said, Ever since you brought us to Gut Trance, this story can be seen on the official WeChat account. When did we embarrass our team? Su Yun smiled. But Marty Franz Island's prison for serious criminals isn't Gutteraz. The prison's managers and prisoners aren't ordinary people. It's different from Gutteraz's Wayne Chaplin, who has an armed force. Qian Feng chuckled. It doesn't matter if it's the same or not. As long as we follow you, it's the same. You won't follow me to the 5th floor of the prison. Listen to Master's instructions. Su Yun looked at Bai Xiaoye. You too. Listen to the instructions. You must not enter the 3rd floor of the prison without permission. Bai Xiaoye nodded. Don't worry, brother. By the way, I haven't told Sister Qing Shuang and the others about this. Should I tell them now? Su Yun nodded. Obviously, he had to tell them about this. Su Yun was sure that Zhua Meiyan and Qin Wan would definitely go with him. They were both masters. Su Yun couldn't persuade them to stay. Even Bai Xiaoye couldn't persuade them. They were all the same. Let Pigeon come with them. I need to explain this to them personally. Bai Xiaoye nodded. When Su Yun told everyone about this, Lin Gu was so excited that he slammed the table. I have to call my old man and tell him about this. He's already retired. You don't have to. He has to know about this even if he's retired, Lin Gu said. The old man said that as long as he's alive, he has to care about you. Moreover, this isn't a small matter. He has to know about it. Before I came here, the old man told me that he wouldn't care about anything except for one thing. That is, I have to tell him about Martius and the prison on Franz Island. Su Yun was stunned. To be honest, it would be great if Senior Lu Xuanji was willing to help him at this time. Brother, this is my master's order. I have to listen. Lin Gu immediately took out his phone and was about to contact Lu Xuanji. Lu Xuanji's strength couldn't be underestimated. When he retired, he was already in the 6th level of the Profound World Realm. Now that he had retired for so many years, he should at least be in the 8th level of the Profound World Realm. Lin Gu dialed the phone and couldn't wait to say, Old man Martius. The news about the prison, right? Lu Xuanji's low voice interrupted Lin Gu. Lin Gu was stunned for a moment. No way. How did you guess that? Tell Su Yun, that kid, that I will go directly to Masa Island and wait. It's closer from here. Lu Xuanji said indifferently, Kid, remember, if you go, obey my orders obediently. Otherwise, stay in Guqin Island obediently. Old man, I think you've really become an old immortal. How do you know all this? Lin Gu was completely dumbfounded. Isn't this too outrageous? Lu Xuanji even knows about Masa Island? But Lu Xuanji wasn't prepared to continue chatting with Lin Gu and hung up the phone. Lin Gu looked at Su Yun in confusion. In fact, Su Yun already understood that Wang Yi must have looked for him because they were sworn brothers of old man Zhang. Okay, don't be confused. He has become an old immortal. You should be happy. Su Yun laughed. Bang bang bang. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door of the hotel suite. Come in. Zhua Meiyan's emotions were actually quite complicated. The hotel's housekeeping staff opened the door and said, Director Su, there's a gentleman here who says he's your friend and wants to see you. But he doesn't have a phone number. So I brought him up. As soon as the voice fell, Gu Zueren's figure appeared in front of Su Yun. Su Yun was stunned. The Oracle Gu Zueren could predict everything. Obviously, he had predicted that something big was going to happen, so he came here directly. Brother, what are you waiting for? Come in. Su Yun had a bright smile on his face. Gu Zueren stepped forward and gave Su Yun a hug. But before they could exchange greetings, Su Yun's phone rang. He quickly took it out. It was an unknown number. Hello, who is this? I'm at the entrance of Sky Entertainment Group Hotel on Guqin Island. I don't know if I've found the right place. A familiar yet unfamiliar voice came from the phone. Su Yun was completely stunned. Fan Shuang Chapter 40:12. This indeed surprised Su Yun. He did not react at all. Fan Shuang was originally going to report to the Dragon Brigade in Beijing. Coincidentally, she received a call from Wang Yi when she passed by Qingdao an hour ago. Wang Yi told her not to return to Beijing and to go to Qingdao directly to find Su Yun. Then, Fan Shuang appeared here. Wang Yi told her that the Sky Entertainment Hotel under the Sky Entertainment Group on Qingdao was very easy to find. It was directly opposite the Sky Entertainment International Film and Television Plaza. Sure enough, after a call, Su Yun rushed out immediately. Fan Shuang was standing at the entrance of the hotel, and behind her was the Medicine Emperor, Huang Fu Gua. Old Master Huang Fu. Su Yun was stunned. Fan Shuang was indeed powerless at that time, but Huang Fuguo's title of Medicine Emperor was not for nothing. He had snatched Fan Shuang'er back from the hands of the King of Hell. After that, Fan Shuang'er had been recuperating with Huang Fuguo's medicine. Now, not only had she recovered, but her strength had also improved by leaps and bounds under Huang Fuguo's guidance. After all, in this world, other than the Empress, Huang Fuguo was the only other person who was worthy of the title of one of the three kings. "I've sent her to you. She's safe and sound." Huang Fuguo smiled slightly. "Young people shouldn't be impulsive in the future. You only have one life. It's not easy to get it back after losing it." The shock this brought to Su Yun was simply too great. "The chief said that you're in trouble. Now, all the brothers of the Dragon Fury team are on their way here. Fan Shuang'er said, he asked me to come directly to you." Qian Feng also came out at this time. After seeing Fan Shuang'er, he rushed up to her and gave her a hug. "Haha. We brothers finally meet again. Who's your brother?" Fan Shuang'er punched Qian Feng hard, but her face was smiling from ear to ear. Yes. Not brothers, best friends." "Best friend." Qian Feng quickly corrected herself. When everyone came out to welcome him, Su Yun hurriedly said to Huang Fuguo, "Old Master Huang Fu, please come in. I have to offer you a cup of tea to thank you for saving us." "I don't need your thanks for saving her." Huang Fuguo laughed and said, "Shuang-er is now my disciple. I need someone to pass on everything I've learned in my life. She has this spirituality and talent. This is my fortune." Ha 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 ha. When Su Yun heard this, he was happy for Fan Shuang'er from the bottom of his heart. "I don't like to get involved in the affairs of you young people," Huang Fuguo said indifferently. "So, I'll leave her to you, but you have to ensure her safety." "Yes. Don't worry," Su Yun said. "Disciple, I'm afraid you won't have time to take care of me after seeing your old friend. I'll go back first." Huang Fuguo had no intention of staying for long. "You're leaving?" Su Yun and Fan Shuang'er asked in unison. Huang Fuguo didn't know how to respond to the question. "What else? You just arrived and you want to leave?" Fan Shuang'er looked surprised. "We're going to Martifron's Island to do something difficult. Aren't you going to help us?" If Huang Fuguo could help them, it would be like getting a god-tier set in a game. If two of the three emperors who were still alive were their teammates, their strength would be too terrifying. Although Su Yun also hoped that Huang Fuguo could stay, he certainly couldn't say such words. After all, Huang Fuguo didn't owe him anything. It was he who owed him a favor. "I've already sent you here. Do you still need me?" Huang Fuguo said. "Moreover, Martifron's Island is a place that makes my scalp tingle. Why are you so timid?" Fan Shuang'er said helplessly. "There are so many of us. Besides, you heard our leader say that this matter is led by the Empress Zhualangyue." Huang Fuguo glared at Fan Shuang'er. "It's because of her that I don't want to go. What do you know? It's useless to say more. I'm going back to my South Sea for a vacation now. You'd better not look for me for the next 2 years. I need to rest. When you can understand the truth I've told you, then come find me. Is this how a master should behave? Your disciple is going to a place like Hell's Palace. Are you just going to watch?" Fan Shuang'er was also extremely helpless. "I've already gone to Hell's Palace to bring you back once," Huang Fuguo said. "I definitely won't be able to bring you back next time, so you'd better be smart." Fan Shuang'er's mood suddenly dropped a lot. She nodded. "I know. Su Yun, I've handed her over to you." Huang Fuguo said, "I know. You must have spied on her state of mind. Her strength has indeed improved by leaps and bounds." Su Yun marveled in his heart. This was more than just leaps and bounds. Fan Shuang'er's strength had completely surpassed all the brothers in the Dragon Fury team. Perhaps even Wang Yi was not necessarily stronger than her. Huang Fuguo continued, "But you must not let her fight for you just because she's strong now. Remember, she's just a support, not a tank." Su Yun smiled awkwardly. Old Master Huang Fu, your analogy is too accurate. Let me tell you, even I'm just a support, Huang Fu Gua said. I can't guarantee anything else, but I can guarantee that with her, she can improve the strength of all of you. Su Yun realized that Huang Fu Gua must have asked Fan Shuang to bring some kind of elixir. The elixir made by the Medicine Sovereign's formula was definitely not an ordinary one. Fan Shuang was carrying a backpack, and it was bulging. It must be full of treasures. Okay, don't be so naggy, Fan Shuang said helplessly. I know very well what I should do. Don't worry. Only then did Huang Fu Gua nod his head. You've promised me before. Lass, if you lose your little life, then all my good stuff will really be gone. Fan Shuang sighed. Okay, I promise. Then I'll be leaving. Huang Fu Gua turned to leave after saying that. Old Master Huang Fu, since you're already here, stay a few more days on Guqin Island. At least let us entertain you. Hua Xia people were very happy to have friends from afar. It was the same everywhere. You still have so many things to do. I don't dare to waste your time. Huang Fu Gua said. Even if I want to play for a few days, I'll go by myself. You don't have to pay attention to me. Fan Shuang looked at Su Yun helplessly. He's just too paranoid. He's afraid that if he eats someone's food, his mouth will be too soft. He's afraid that after accepting your hospitality, he'll be embarrassed to refuse your request. Su Yun smiled awkwardly. At that time, if you really ask him to go to Mardi Franz Island, will he have the nerve to refuse? Fan Shuang continued, therefore, he simply won't accept any of your hospitality. He won't eat or take anything from you. He's not short of mouth and won't be soft-hearted. If you have any requests, he can still flatly refuse. How can you talk about your master like that? Huang Fu Gua was so angry that he blew his beard and stared at Fan Shuang. However, Fan Shuang didn't take it to heart. It seemed like she often angered Huang Fu Gua. I'm just stating a fact. I'm not going because I'm afraid of some bullshit prison. Huang Fu Gua said angrily. I just don't want to cooperate with that woman, Zhua Langyue. Everyone knew that the Empress was domineering. No one could resist her domineering aura. This kind of domineering aura was innate to Zhua Langyue. Even though Huang Fu Gua was one of the three sovereigns, he couldn't be on equal footing with her. Zhua Langyue was one of the three sovereigns, so she definitely wanted to save face. Therefore, it was normal that she couldn't stand the Empress. Su Yun pulled Fan Shuang, indicating that she shouldn't force an old senior to do something she didn't want to do. Su Yun seemed to be able to understand Huang Fu Gua's thoughts on this point. Master, do you know why you all are in the position of the three sovereigns, but others can call themselves emperors? Fan Shuang sighed. Emperors, former empresses, and emperors. I always feel that those who call themselves emperors are more powerful than those who call themselves sovereigns. All right, don't provoke your master, Su Yun interrupted Fan Shuang. However, Huang Fu Gua didn't seem to be angry because of this. I have never denied that she isn't better than me. She is better than me to begin with. Fan Shuang didn't have much of a temper. In the words of you youngsters, it's easier for her to get the MVP because she's the output type. We are the support type, so on the surface, we seem weaker than her, Huang Fu Gua said. However, the deeper meaning of his words was, she seemed weak on the surface, but in fact, she wasn't weak at all. Chapter 40:13. Old Master Huang Fu, she's always so direct. Don't take her words to heart, Su Yun said. Huang Fu Gua laughed. How can I not know my disciple? If I took her words to heart, I would have been pissed to death. It's good that you have this awareness, Fan Shuang said. Since you must go, I won't keep you. Be careful on your way. After seeing Huang Fu Gua off, they returned to the room. Gu Zueran also learned more about the situation from Su Yun. Who's involved now? The Empress, the 5 gods of war, and then my master, Wang Yi, and my brothers from the Dragon Brigade, Su Yun said. then looked at Lin Gu. Old Master Lu seems to have moved as well. Gu Zuerin counted with his fingers and said, although their fighting strength is already quite good, but there's still a lot to go. What do you mean? Su Yun was stunned. There was still a lot to go. These words made him feel a little absent-minded. It's definitely not that simple, Gu Zuerin said. Gu Zuerin said, although there was a riot in the prison on Mardi Fran Island, it was only a riot in the prison. None of the prisoners were able to get out. So, if we go to the rescue now, we will not only have to face the special prison guards of the prison on Mardi Fran Island, but also the prisoners who are locked up in the prison. Gu Zuerin's words made sense. They had to face a threat from both sides, because the prisoners in the Mardi Fran's Island serious crime prison were basically all vicious people. No matter how strong they were definitely ruthless and crazy enough to be caught. We need more people. Gu Zuerin's expression was very serious. And we need more people who can control the situation. People who can control the situation? That's too difficult. Su Yun knew what Gu Zuerin meant. Controlling the situation didn't depend on one's strength, but on one's fighting IQ and coordination. It was just like playing a game. If a godly player with a 100% win rate in a one-on-one fight met a teammate who didn't know how to cooperate with the team, he would still die. Therefore, when Gu Zuerin said that they needed someone who could control the entire scene, he was not referring to individual strength, but someone with leadership ability. Take Wang Yi for example. Although his strength couldn't be ranked, his leadership ability wasn't bad. As for the 5 war gods, each one of them had terrifying battle strength. But aside from Ling Feng, the other 4 weren't able to control the entire battlefield. This was the difference. Gu Zuerin's worries were not without reason. The current situation was indeed as such. They indeed lacked someone to control the situation. We still don't have enough people to support the entire battle, Gu Zuerin continued. We still need more people. Lin Gu was a little helpless. At times like this, everyone needs help. The more people there are, the easier it is to get things done. But manpower isn't something that can be easily obtained. What we lack now is this, and no one can change that. And this kind of thing, where are we going to find more people? Lin Ji's words carried a hint of helplessness, but this was the truth. There really was no way to find more people to help with this kind of thing. Su Yun was silent for a moment. Gu Zuerin's words clearly had a huge impact on him. Even if he hadn't said anything, Su Yun had been worried, and now this worry was even more obvious. Although I know that many things can't be forced, Gu Zuerin said. But in this kind of situation, I'd rather take the blame and dissuade you from continuing this operation. Everyone's eyes instantly focused on Gu Zuerin. Gu Zuerin still insisted, at times like this, we have to stop the operation. Stop. Don't joke around. Qian Feng said, our people are already on the way, and the Dragon Brigade will never give up just because something is dangerous. We've always been doing dangerous and challenging things. We haven't even started and you want to stop? How can that be? I'm not saying that you're afraid, but with this kind of strength, there's no way we can win. Gu Zuerin naturally had his reasons for saying this. Su Yun nodded, I also know that this is dangerous, but it's just as he said. We have no other choice. Stopping is a choice. There's no turning back, Su Yun said. Gu Zuerin was still trying to persuade Su Yun. The bow has only been drawn, but the arrow hasn't been released. There's still a choice. If you can't hold it in and the arrow is released, then there's really no turning back. When the time comes, it'll be too late to regret it. You're just trying to boost others' morale and diminish our own. Lin Gu didn't want to listen to Gu Zuerin anymore. Gu Zuerin had good intentions, and he was a very good diviner. His premonition of danger was also very real. But in such a critical situation, his words were too damaging to the momentum of the battle. No one liked to hear these words, especially Lin Gu and Qian Feng. Both of them were young people with tempers. It was already very good that they hadn't turned on Gu Zuerin on the spot after hearing him say this. If you keep talking like this, don't blame me for turning on you. Chen Feng followed Lin Ji's example. Both of you, shut up. Su Yun. What he said is the truth. It's all in consideration of our safety. Look at you right now. Who are you going to turn on? Don't tell me you don't allow others to express other attitudes. Chen Feng and Lin Gu only obediently shut up after hearing Su Yun's words. I'm really not trying to diminish our morale, Gu Zueran said. I also want you to do this, but I don't want you to do something you have no chance of winning. You need the help of more people. The door was suddenly opened. A woman wearing a gray coat and black wide-legged pants appeared at the door. I brought a few people to help. I don't know if there are enough people. The woman smiled as she looked at the shocked people in the room. She looked like she was only 30-something years old, but if one looked carefully, she looked like she was at least 45. This woman's temperament was not ordinary. She was definitely not a normal person. Gu Zueran opened his mouth in shock. Su Yueling. I changed my name. Just call me Su Ling, the woman said calmly. What, you didn't expect me to appear? Didn't you retire a long time ago? No one has any news of you. Gu Zueran found it hard to believe. Among Zhang Taiji's 8 sworn brothers, only one woman was Su Yueling in front of them. Although Gu Zueran didn't know why she changed her name to Su Ling, he knew that her strength was terrifying. When she retired, she was already an expert in the 6th stage of the Earth Profound Realm. Among the 8 sworn brothers, she was also very strong. This was a woman with great talent. Zhang Tai Sui's godson, right? Call me Auntie. Su Ling looked at Su Yun and said bluntly, I brought people to help you. Call me Auntie. You won't lose out at all. Hello, Auntie Su. Su Yun had received too many surprises today. He felt like he was dreaming. Gu Zueran wanted to ask who else was there. Someone walked out from behind Su Ling. Call me uncle. Lu Xianyu. Gu Zueran was surprised again. They were all sworn brothers of the old Tai Sui. Lu Xianyu should be 50 years old this year, but he still looked elegant. This guy was not simple. Back then, his strength was on par with Wang Yi. Wang Yi had always hoped that he would go with him to the mystical dragon brigade, but he refused to go no matter what. He went to Central Europe alone to have fun. Gu Zueran was even more shocked that this guy would appear. Why are you here too? Gu Zueran couldn't believe his eyes. He rubbed them hard. Wang Yi called me and said that if I didn't come, he would cut ties with me. Do you think I wanted to come? Lu Xianyu said helplessly, after so many years, I've already gotten used to a lazy life. My strength hasn't improved. Wouldn't it be embarrassing for me to come? Su Yun looked at Lu Xianyu. For a moment, he didn't know what to say. Wang Yi had indeed mentioned him many times. Senior Lu, our master has mentioned you many times. Chen Feng laughed. Even if you're used to being lazy, you've definitely improved compared to our master. Due to some reasons, his strength has already stagnated. Lu Xianyu was startled. He hasn't broken through to the Earth Profound Realm yet? Yeah. Chen Feng nodded. Lu Xianyu laughed. Ha. It seems that other than old Jean, there's someone more fragile than me. Good. As long as I'm not at the bottom, I'm satisfied. Chapter 4014. Can you find another one? Su Ling was a little speechless at Lu Xianyu. Don't tell me you don't know their situation? Lu Xianyu pretended to be stupid and shook his head. Anyway, only the 3 of us didn't break through to the Earth Profound Realm that year. You guys have already broken through. I'll compete with the 2 of them. I don't care what their reasons are. There's an objective reason for their stagnation in strength, and it's because of your own laziness. Su Ling said helplessly. Lu Xianyu, however, smiled confidently and easily. I can have the strength I have today even though I'm so lazy. If I work hard, wouldn't I? Don't be arrogant. Su Ling had already spied on Su Yun's strength. She smiled at Lu Xianyu and said, with your little ability, it's not enough to show off in front of a child. Lu Xianyu was stunned for a moment, but he immediately understood Su Lingyue's meaning. He hurriedly spied on Su Yun's state of mind, and instantly turned pale with fright. He couldn't see anything at all. This kid's strength was actually far beyond his. One had to know that he, Lu Xianyu, was an awesome person who had reached the third level of the Earth Profound Realm. Now, he couldn't even see the state of mind of a little kid. Phew. I say, this Wang Yi is really interesting. These kids are already so powerful, why did he still ask me to come? He's purposely provoking me. Lu Xianyu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Forget it, I think I'll just obediently follow behind. Su Ling said, You should have obediently followed by our side. Empress Zhua Langyue and her 5 war guards are all in our team. Do you think you still have the chance to snatch a kill? Lu Xianyu opened his mouth in surprise. Why didn't anyone mention this to me? I can only say that Brother Yi understands you better. He knows that once he tells you this, you definitely won't come back. Su Ling said, So don't dream of becoming a god with 5 consecutive kills. Hey, over there you guys. After Lu Xianyu spied on Lin Gur and Qian Feng's strength, he smiled and said, When the time comes, you guys can follow me. I'll definitely take good care of you. Lin Gur was speechless. He thought to himself that this was actually his old man Lu's sworn brother. Wasn't this a little too funny? He clearly had the strength of the Earth Profound Realm, yet he wanted to mingle with them, who were in the Grandmaster Realm, to find a sense of superiority. Qian Feng also nodded awkwardly. Since the elder had spoken, as a junior, he naturally had to be obedient. Can you be more shameless? Su Ling was completely speechless towards Lu Xianyu. A senior actually dared to say such words in front of a junior. Do you think it's not embarrassing for you to say such words to them? Lu Xianyu didn't think so. What's there to be embarrassed about? One of them is old heretic Lu's last disciple. One was Wang Yi's disciple. Do you think it's interesting to say such things in front of the 2 of them? Su Ling glared at him. Lu Xianyu looked at Lin Gu in surprise. You are the last disciple of old heretic Lu? What a joke. How old are you? You're almost as strong as me when I retired. Did old heretic Lu give you hormones? Lin Gu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He shook his head. I don't know about this either. But I don't dare to not eat what my old man wants me to eat. See, Su Ling? I told you we shouldn't have come. Look at them, they all brought their disciples. Don't look at Wang Yi's strength, he can bring out an army. Jin Guai is the same. He's not as strong as me, but the Yen school has at least a dozen super experts. They can all help if they bring them here. Even old heretic Lu. Sigh. He's already so strong. Why did he bring out his disciples? Lu Xianyu didn't stop complaining. She was originally weaker than others, and because she was lazy, she didn't have any disciples. Now she regretted it. She wanted to bring a few disciples, but she couldn't find any here. Everyone didn't know whether to laugh or cry at Lu Xianyu's words. No one thought that an elder would be such a funny person. Young girl, I see that your bones are amazing. You're a martial arts genius. How about this, you become my disciple, and I'll teach you everything I know. Lu Xianyu found Fan Shuang-er. Compared to Zhua Meiyan and Chou Yun, Fan Shuang-er's potential was indeed much greater than both of them. Otherwise, Huang Fu Guo wouldn't have taken a fancy to her. Chou Yun came from an unorthodox background. She didn't have a proper master, so from the beginning, her strength was limited. It was not easy for her to break through to the Grandmaster realm. As for Zhua Meiyan, it was because Zhang Taisui had realized that he was going to leave this world and had no choice but to impart his power to them. This had affected Zhua Meiyan and Zhua Yeming's development. Although they had become powerful at that time, their progress had been relatively slow. This was because of the force-feeding method. Therefore, Zhua Meiyan's limit was to break through to the profound world realm. She still needed a long time to improve her martial arts. As for Fan Shuang-er, because of her talent and a very systematic martial arts environment, she would break through to the profound world realm very quickly. Although Lu Xianyu's words and actions were funny, he didn't misjudge people. Senior Lu, she's a member of our Dragon Brigade, Chen Feng said embarrassedly. Are you kidding me? There are girls in your Dragon Brigade? Lu Xianyu said disdainfully. You said that her master is also Wang Yi? Su Yun shook his head. Her master is Huang Fu Gua. Lu Xianyu's face changed. Hey, you little things, can you not be so awesome? How can there be so many awesome people in this room? I don't know what to say. You said Huang Fu Gua? Su Yun nodded. Fan Shuang also nodded. Yes. Don't tell me it's that medicine sovereign, Huang Fu Gua? Lu Xianyu said in disbelief. The same name, right? The medicine sovereign likes peace and quiet. How could he accept a disciple? My worldview has been destroyed by you. Lu Xianyu's eyes swept over Chou Yun. Although Chou Yun's strength wasn't considered strong among these people, she was still a fox sovereign. Her cold aura made Lu Xianyu not dare to ask any questions. How could he know if she had any background? Moreover, Chou Yun was cold by nature, so she didn't look at him at all. Lu Xianyu's gaze fell on Zhua Meiyan. Zhua Meiyan smiled. I am Zhua Meiyan. I know about your relationship with old Tai Sui. Lu Xianyu nodded. He definitely couldn't accept her as a disciple. In the end, he had no choice but to look at Bai Xiaoye. In his opinion, Bai Xiaoye's potential far surpassed Fan Shuang's. Therefore, he didn't dare to hope that she would become his disciple. But now, this seemed to be his only goal. Lu Xianyu, I'm warning you. Swallow your words. Su Ling seemed to have sensed his thoughts. Lu Xianyu glanced at Su Ling. No one said that I can't accept a disciple on the spot. Take a closer look at her before you say anything. When Su Ling came in, she immediately saw the similarities between Bai Xiaoye and Su Yun. She had long heard that Zhua Lengyue and Su Yun had a daughter. Now that she saw how similar Bai Xiaoye's appearance was to Su Yun's, and her temperament was almost the same as Zhua Lengyue's, she confirmed that this rumor was true. Su Ling was one of Yun Liuyan's few close friends, so she knew more about Zhua Lengyue. It was also because she was Yun Liuyan's close friend that she didn't like Zhua Lengyue, so she removed the Yu from her name. She used to be called Su Yueling. The simple-minded Lu Xianyu was different. He didn't know about those gossips and didn't notice the similarities between Bai Xiaoye and Su Yun. I've taken a good look at her. I'm very satisfied. Lu Xianyu said, although she has unlimited potential, at least I can teach her something now, right? Do you think Zhua Lengyue and Su Chen's daughter needs your guidance? Su Ling threw a sentence at Lu Xianyu. Lu Xianyu felt as if he was struck by lightning. Boom. Oh my God. Is there anyone in this room who doesn't have a background? Are you kidding me? Only after Su Ling's reminder did Lu Xianyu realize that Bai Xiaoye and Su Yun's eyebrows were similar. Su Ling rolled her eyes. Do you think I have time to joke with you? Lu Xianyu quickly walked to the bathroom. I need some cold water to clear my head. Chapter 40:15. What Gu Zueran cared about now was whether Zhang Taisui's sworn brothers would show up. Will all of you be involved? We haven't contacted old heretic Lu, but didn't his last disciple say he would show up? Su Ling said, the ancient magpie world is even more out of our league. He's the headmaster now and is so busy every day. We don't know if he'll show up. Gu Zueran could hear the anger in Su Ling's voice. After all, she was the only woman among the 8 of them. Once upon a time, she was also the girl they doted on the most. It was normal for her to be angry. Let's not talk about the ancient magpie world. Xian Yuanji is a wild crane, Gu Zueran said calmly. Su Ling snorted. You're right. He is indeed a wild crane. I haven't seen him in so many years. I wonder if he died a long time ago. I've seen him. Su Yun, the senior who could use the cloudy green sword to perfection, was addicted to alcohol. Su Ling glanced at Su Yun. Did that wild crane call you brother and raise your seniority? Su Yun was stunned for a moment. Then he smiled awkwardly. They knew each other too well, even knowing this. If he calls you brother, it means you've gained his approval, Su Ling said. Su Ling said, if you need his help, I'm 100% sure that he'll help you. But I don't know how to find him. Su Yun shook his head. Then we can't help you, Su Ling said. I don't even remember how long it's been since I last saw him. Lu Xianyu came back after washing her face. That's because he chased you and you didn't agree. He became an alcoholic because of you. If you talk nonsense again, I'll rip your mouth off. Su Ling glared at Lu Xianyu. He was an alcoholic. At that time, I said that as long as he could quit drinking, I would agree to it. But did he quit? Lu Xianyu smacked her lips. The wine sword immortal. Haha, it's impossible for him not to drink. Su Ling said, that's because he didn't have the willpower. Even if you just let him drink a little less. Lu Xianyu still wanted to speak up for his brother. That won't make him give up on his own accord. I'm disgusted by people who are addicted to alcohol, Su Ling said. That's why I won't accept it. Don't you know him? Drink less. Haha, this is simply a shameful joke to him. Lu Xianyu saw that Su Ling's attitude was still the same after so many years, so she didn't dare to provoke her anymore. Let's not talk about him anymore. Let's not be angry anymore. Come, sit down. If he really dares to appear in front of me, I will definitely smash his broken wine flask, Su Ling said fiercely. This voice caused the surrounding people to have goosebumps. The female seniors were really amazing. Each of them was even fiercer than the men. Senior Xuanyuan's whereabouts are unpredictable. We can't contact him. Su Yun tried to change the topic. That's why I don't think he can come. Don't be angry about it. Su Ling looked at Su Yun and asked in return, do you really think he won't appear? None of us can contact him, Su Yun said. He can't know about this. How can he appear? Su Yun, if you're not close enough to call him brother, he won't appear even if you ask him, Su Ling said. Su Ling said, but if the two of you are close enough to call each other brothers, he will definitely appear in front of you, no matter what method he uses. Su Yun was shocked. He really couldn't think of anything. Shenyuanji didn't care about worldly affairs. How could he know so many things? Therefore, he still felt that there was no possibility of him appearing. Yes, he's an evil and mysterious guy. Lu Xianyu's expression became more serious. However, she changed halfway through her sentence. Maybe he's lying outside the window right now, eavesdropping on us. Bai Xiaoye was speechless. Senior Lu, there are more than 10 floors here. The outside is all glass walls. Other than geckos, there shouldn't be any creatures that can lie inside, right? Maybe he's transformed into a gecko. Lu Xianyu was unconvinced. Facing this guy who didn't make sense, Bai Xiaoye could only feel helpless. After thinking about it, she decided not to chat with him too much. She didn't want to be led astray by him. Lu Xianyu, I really don't understand. How many times did you get beaten up for talking too much? Su Ling frowned. If Shenyuanji heard this, do you think he would let you go? Lu Xianyu chuckled. If that drunkard was really here, I wouldn't say that. I'm not stupid. I know I can't beat him. But his brother is right here. You can't even beat him. Su Ling pointed at Su Yun. I won't treat this kid as a brother according to that drunkard's seniority. I'm his godfather's sworn brother. I'll kowtow to him. Lu Xianyu looked at Su Yun with a smile. How could he fight with his Uncle Lu? Don't you think so? Su Yun could only smile bitterly. He really didn't know how to communicate with them. Su Yun, ignore him, Su Ling said. When the guy with the wine gourd comes, we'll teach him a lesson. Wine gourd? Bai Xiaoye suddenly exclaimed with a hint of surprise on her face. I know it's weird to carry a wine gourd around these days, but it shouldn't scare you to this extent, Lu Xianyu said. 3 days ago, someone came to the hotel and booked a room. He only brought a wine gourd with him. Bai Xiaoye suddenly recalled that when she went to the surveillance room to talk to the guard on duty that day, she accidentally caught a glimpse of a person who booked a room with a wine gourd hanging from his waist. Everyone laughed at that time, saying that this person might be Li Bai, the poet immortal. Su Ling's words reminded her of that scene immediately. Lu Xianyu opened her mouth in shock. "Are you sure you're not joking with me?" Bai Xiaoye nodded. "How can I joke about this? I'm telling the truth. I thought it was a cosplayer. Could it really be Shen Yuanji? Take me to the surveillance room." Su Ling was still quite calm. "Do you still have the video records?" "Yes, there are definitely videos from 3 days ago. It's not time for automatic deletion yet." Bai Xiaoye immediately brought Su Ling to the surveillance room. Lu Xianyu wanted to follow. "You don't have to go," Su Ling said. "I'm curious too," Lu Xianyu said. Suddenly, a muffled knocking sound came from the wall of the suite. Everyone looked over. It was the wall that separated the suite next door. Su Yun shook his head helplessly. Maybe they were too noisy and disturbed the rest of the guests next door. However, the soundproofing of this hotel was pretty good. It could only mean that the guests' ears were too sensitive. However, at that moment, a muffled voice came from the other side of the wall. "You don't have to look at the surveillance room. It's me. I heard everything you said. Lu, I told you when you were young that you should be careful no matter who you say bad things about. The walls have ears, but you didn't listen." Lu Xianyu was convinced. She gave a thumbs up to the wall. "I really have to give it to you. You already heard that we were here. Why didn't you hurry over?" "I heard Susu's voice. How can I not dress up? Otherwise, I'll be called sloppy again." Shen Yuanji's voice could be heard helplessly through the wall. "If I didn't dress up for Susu, I would have gone over long ago." Su Yun was the first to burst into laughter. Everyone else laughed as well. Bai Xiaoye could not help but laugh at the funny personalities of these seniors. Su Ling did not know whether to laugh or cry. She roared at the wall, "Get in this room and explain everything to me." Everyone could not hold it in anymore and laughed out loud. Su Yun felt much more relaxed now that there was such an atmosphere at a time like this. As more and more legendary seniors joined, he saw endless hope. Chapter 4016. Shen Yuanji seemed to be a carefree person, but he was extremely well informed. After Ling Feng found the location of Marty Francis Island and informed Zhuo Langyue, Shen Yuanji had news. Not only did he have news, but he also knew that this news would definitely cause a huge disturbance in the underground world. It had been more than 20 years since the last disturbance in the underground world. He couldn't remember clearly, but he clearly remembered that the person who caused this disturbance was called Su Chen. This time, even though the storm that was about to erupt was caused by Zhuo Langyue, the person who caused this storm was Su Yun. The people from the Su family were really worrisome. Even though Shen Yuanji felt helpless, he still allowed himself to participate without hesitation. He knew that Su Yun's company and hotel was on Qingdao. After he rushed over, he booked a room here and quietly waited for news of Su Yun and the rest gathering. Today, there was finally some movement. He could finally stretch his back in the alcohol. Shen Yuanji smiled as he pushed the door open and walked straight to Su Ling. "Su Ling, why didn't you come to my room to look for me? We haven't met for so many years. Don't you have anything to tell me? I was afraid that there would be a woman in your room accompanying you." Su Ling rolled her eyes at Shen Yuanji. "Stop trying to worm your way into being friends with me. Tell me, why did you come so many days in advance? Where did you get this news?" Shen Yuanji laughed. "Are you impressed by me? Even I am impressed by myself. Will your intelligence be affected when you get close to Lu Xianyu?" Su Ling said helplessly. "Be a normal person." Shen Yuanji stopped smiling. "All right, I will be a normal person. Senior Shen Yuanji, why are you here?" Su Yun was also very surprised at how Xian Yuanji got the news. I am also someone who is almost 50 years old. It is normal for me to have some connections. Xian Yuanji continued, there is nothing strange about this. If they can come, I will naturally come as well. Don't talk nonsense. Wang Yi just informed us last night. We all rushed here through the night. How did you arrive 3 days ago? Su Ling asked. Su Yun looked surprised and said, yes, Auntie Su is right. I just found out about this. Xian Yuanji nodded. That means my network is wider than yours. I suddenly remembered that you and Zhaoyang used to be friends. Su Ling suddenly said, but, after Zhaoyang became Zhuo Langyue's follower, didn't you break off your friendship with him? Shen Yuanji laughed dryly and changed the topic. Isn't it enough if I'm here? Don't change the topic. Su Ling reacted quickly. You said that if Zhaoyang worked with Zhuo Langyue, you'd cut ties with him. You told me this yourself. What's the situation now? You lied to me, didn't you? There's no need to mention what happened back then. Xian Yuanji smiled. It's been so long, there are some things that should be let go. Su Ling rolled his eyes at Xian Yuanji. Of course I can let it go. If I didn't, do you think I would be here? Xian Yuanji nodded. It's good that you can let it go. Even if you can't let it go, you'll still come. Lu Xianyu didn't know what to do and said, Su Yun is Yun Liuyan's son. Are you going to watch Yun Liuyan's son go to Marty Franz Island and not help him? Su Ling glared at Lu Xianyu impatiently. Can you be a mute for a while? Just a while is enough. Okay. Lu Xianyu knew that she had agitated Su Ling again. Su Ling's hatred for Zhua Meiyan had faded a long time ago. Especially when she saw that Su Yun and Bai Xiaoye's relationship was quite good. Su Ling didn't hate her as much as before. Most of the hatred in the past was caused by Yun Liuyan's death. Now that it had been so many years, there was nothing to say, and there was nothing to hate. All in all, Su Ling now only hoped that Yun Liuyan's son could safely endure this matter. As long as this matter was resolved, she wouldn't have too many worries in this life. Yun Liuyan's son had grown up to be so outstanding. What was there to be dissatisfied with? Brother, your matter is my matter. I didn't call you brother for nothing. Xian Yuanji smiled and patted Su Yun's shoulder. I'm not as old-fashioned as them, insisting on talking about seniority and seniority. It's boring, I don't care so much. Old Tai Sui is already buried, I don't care what you call them, but in my eyes, they are brothers. Senior, Xian Yuanji waved his hand and didn't let Su Yun continue speaking. When Wang Yi brings people here, we'll leave immediately. Xian Yuanji said. Time waits for no one. The riot in the prison will become more and more troublesome as time passes. The guards there aren't smart. They'll definitely mess things up. Senior Xian Yuanji, how do you know that the guards aren't smart? Lin Gu asked. Xian Yuanji smiled. You'll understand what I mean when you get there. Huh? Lin Gu was stunned for a moment. But shouldn't it be better for us to know ourselves and the enemy? Only by knowing ourselves and the enemy can we win every battle. If you know more, then tell us. This? Don't tell me you don't know about the situation of the guards in the prison? Xian Yuanji said and looked at Su Yun. Su Yun shook his head. Of course we don't know. None of us have been to that place. It's impossible for us to know the situation there. Xian Yuanji smiled bitterly. Wan Guangxiao and Wang Yi are really tight-lipped. At this time, they still haven't told you about the situation of the guards in the prison. Well, then I'll tell you. Know yourself and your enemies, then you'll be victorious. I like this saying. Remember, when you face the guards in the prison, don't fight. After you defeat them, immediately move on to the next step. That's because they will never be killed, Wang Yi said to all the members of the special forces on the plane. Everyone looked at each other and wondered if there was something wrong with their ears. Would they never be killed? Does such a person exist in this world? No, to be exact, Is this still a person? A person can be killed. You're joking with us, right? Hua Xiaolu smiled and said, if they can never be killed, then they're not human. They're called zombies. Zombies can be killed as long as they're shot in the head. Do you mean these guards won't die even if their heads are shot? Yes. How can there be people who won't die? You're just scaring us. Haha, you don't have to say that. We'll take this operation very seriously. Yes. This matter is related to our boss. We'll definitely do our best and be careful at the same time. Wang Yi waved his hand and said, okay, don't say any more. Now there's only one thing you have to do. Listen to what I say quietly, and then treat what I say as a fact and not a joke. When he said this, Wang Yi's expression was quite serious. At this time, all the brothers in the special forces realized the seriousness of the matter. Is what you said true? Han Zhan asked in a low voice. They are really soldiers who won't die. Wang Yi's answer was very firm. If they're people who can die, how long can they last in the Mardi Franz Island prison? The guards in that place will definitely be hired all year round. Everyone was completely silent. Know yourself and know your enemy. Wang Yi said, you'd better clear your heads now, remember everything I said, and then do as I say. Otherwise, don't blame me for not warning you when you get into trouble. Everyone's expression became serious. This news was too exaggerated for them. When Xian Yuanji finished talking about the situation of the guards in the Mardi Franz Island prison, all the younger generation, including Su Yun, were stunned. It was like listening to a science fiction story. Chapter 4017. Senior Xianyuan, there's something I don't know if I should say. Lin Ji's expression was a little awkward. After he finished speaking, he glanced at Su Yun. Seeing that Su Yun had no intention of telling him to shut up, he continued, before you said these words, I thought Senior Lu's mouth was a little unreliable. Now it seems, Shen Yuanji laughed. Ha ha ha, now you think I'm not as reliable as him. Kid, watch your mouth. Lu Xianyu glared at him. No matter what, I'm on the same level as old heretic Lu. You should at least call me uncle. How dare you say I'm unreliable? He's right. You're the most unreliable one. Su Ling helped Lin Gur out of the situation and said seriously, even now, Lu Xianyu is the most unreliable one, because everything Xianyuan said is true. Were they all real? Those guards can't die. Lin Ji's surprised expression told Su Ling that he would never believe such a ridiculous thing. Nothing in the world is immortal. No one can go against the cycle of life and death. Ruan Qingxuang couldn't help but say, how can there be immortals? This goes against common sense, nature, and science. The world is so big, nothing is too strange. Su Ling said, Mardi Franz Island is an island that defies nature. Mardi Franz Island's prison is also a prison that defies common sense. So you're saying that the undead guards in the prison on Mardi Franz Island must exist in defiance of science? Zhua Meiyan frowned. Shen Yuanji said calmly, no, it's the opposite. The guards in Mardi Franz Island's prison are immortal because of science. Chen Feng shook his head hard. Seniors, I have to deny it. If there really is science in the world that can make people immortal, wouldn't those powerful and wealthy people use it on themselves? If that was the case, the world would be ruled by power and money. No, those people you mentioned would never want to use this science on themselves, Su Ling said, shaking his head. Su Ling shook his head. Because this kind of science is used on the dead. Even if they are immortal, they won't have their own consciousness. Everyone was even more surprised. However, compared to the previous shock that was accompanied by great suspicion, this time, there was no such suspicion. A long time ago, a group of top scientists in the world began to study this technology, Su Ling continued. This is a top-secret science project of the United Nations. However, after Mardi Franz Island's prison was established, this top-secret science project is no longer a secret. Are they all Winter's soldiers? Bai Xiaoye frowned. Shen Yuanji shook his head. Girl, this isn't a sci-fi movie. It's not only can't, can it achieve its full potential. If it's implanted into a human's, it can't be 100%. If it isn't a normal person, it can't it's. It can, is. Su Yun had a rough idea. Ever since Earth was ruled by humans, there have been wars. Even in the peaceful era, wars still exist, Su Ling said. Su Ling said, every country in the world has well-trained and powerful warriors. Although these warriors are invincible in their missions, it's impossible to guarantee their safety. There will always be people who die in accidents. Su Yun was stunned. That's right. These warriors who die in accidents are usually sent to the United Nations secret laboratory through top-secret channels to be implanted with a top AI computer chip. Although these warriors are brain-dead, the AI chip can control their bodies through technological processing and allow their bodies to carry out normal metabolism. It can also read the memories of these warriors' bodies and grasp all their fighting skills and combat experience when they were alive, Su Ling said. This was such a terrifying scientific method. At this moment, everyone was so shocked that their mouths were wide open. Of course, the United Nations top scientists will also use high-tech materials to modify the bodies of these undead warriors. Their bodies have been specially processed, so it's very difficult for them to be damaged from the outside, Xian Yuanji said calmly. Therefore, they can be defeated, but they can't be killed. This is because after they are defeated, the AI chip in their bodies can be rebooted intelligently. Then how can we fight? Chen Feng couldn't help but shout. Lin Gu also shook his head. There's no way to fight at all. It's all nonsense. This is why the Mardi Franz Island prison for serious criminals is indestructible, Gu Zueran muttered to himself as if he had just realized something. No one can escape from the Mardi Franz Island prison for serious criminals. It's not because the people inside don't have the ability to defeat the guards, but because they don't have the ability to kill the guards, Lu Xianyu said thoughtfully. The guards can't die, but they can exhaust the people who want to escape to death. Is this true? Bai Xiaoye was shocked. She couldn't believe it. My mother knows about this too? Su Ling looked at Bai Xiaoye. Of course. If she didn't know about this, she wouldn't have asked for help. However, with just the Empress and the 5 war gods, what kind of dragon's pool and tiger's den can't be broken through? That's why she needs help. Mardi Franz Island is full of undead gods. Su Yun frowned and asked, so, my master and the chief know about this too? Of course, Wang Yi knows about this too, Su Ling said. If even Wang Yi knows about this, how can Wan Guangxiao not know about it? Of course, he knows about it. In fact, he probably knows more than us. Su Yun couldn't figure it out. Then why didn't he tell me? Because he knew that someone would tell you, Xian Yuanji said. That old man Wan is a man of few words. Ha ha ha. Su Yun suddenly felt a lot of pressure. He had always thought that the difficulty level was only 70 points. Now that he knew about this, the difficulty level directly soared to 100 points. This was something that Su Yun had never thought about before. It's not too late for you to know this now, Su Ling said. At least you didn't realize this problem when you stood in front of those undead guards. Now, I really hope that this is all a joke. Su Yun found it hard to squeeze out a smile. Su Ling nodded. Yes, I also hope that this is all a joke. Unfortunately, Zhua Langyue isn't someone who likes to joke. Bai Xiaoye now understood why her mother had asked Ling Feng to try and persuade her not to participate in this. In this kind of environment, her strength was only average. She was afraid that she would soon run out of energy, and then she would be in danger. Those undead guards wouldn't feel tired. This was the scariest thing. So, do you understand now? In the prison of Mardi Franz Island, those seemingly powerful criminals aren't our scariest opponents. Lu Xianyu said, on the contrary, those gods who seem to have average strength are our most dangerous opponents. Su Ling nodded in agreement. You're finally saying something that makes sense. Lu Xianyu rolled her eyes. Then, Will our master tell our brothers about this situation? Qian Feng frowned and said, He has never told us about this. Su Ling smiled. Unless he's a fool. But as far as I know, Wang Yi is the one with the highest IQ among us. If I'm not mistaken, he has already told us everything. Everyone in your brigade who participated in this operation probably knows by now. Su Ling's guess was right. Everyone in the Dragon Brigade knew. Wang Yi explained it clearly to them, and this fact made the atmosphere very quiet. This was almost the worst news they had heard in their lives. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.